This is the first day of our group stage ng CFS SEA Masters Summer 2026 na ito na nga ang ating phase 2 ng kamakailang nangyari para sa ating spring. Abay, hindi pa dyan nagtatapos ang laban. Makakasabay ba sa summer heat itong ating mga teams? For this time around, malalaman natin yan. Kami nga pala inyong mga kasama dito sa ating panel desk. I am Mochi alongside with Bipolar. It's been a while and I'm so excited to witness kung ano ang mga kaganapan natin ngayon.
Yun ang ano, Mochi, it's the summer season and that little bit of a break felt like an entire year for me and the rest of the casting pool dito, even the pro team, no? So parang giang na tayo na bit. We want to go into the action in immediately dito sa ating Masters. But yeah, ang daming nangyari while we were in the qualifiers. Roster changes, big impact plays, big plays, and as well as you know, what do you call it? A Masters already team set right now. 8 teams or 10 teams ang maglaban-laban dito, Mochi. And as you can see, they're already, and what can we say? Masters is just gonna be one hell of a tournament para sa ating mga teams.
Exactly. And just like what you guys are seeing right now dito sa inyong stream is we came down to our top 4, no, na nakita natin from spring, because we have the usual, no, andyan si Matches, andyan si Team Stallion, si Fervet, si Virtus Pro, si Execration, and a couple of newcomers here nang galing dito sa ating qualifiers, which is yung Comeback Friends, Atras, and as well as ito si Team Acceptance. And on the other hand, we also have a couple of representatives from Rosie na wala na si Riders, unfortunately, no, they gone their separate ways, but we have Taring Bobby, which is entering the fray, which has, I heard, merong pretty decent sub base. So, aabangan natin yan. And dito naman sa ating playoffs, do, pagka natapos itong ating group stage, yung ating top 6 teams will be seeded accordingly sa kanilang mga magiging respective na standings. And dyan magsisimula ang tunay na laban.
You know, ano, Mochi, you're absolutely right. Meron tayong mga newcomers, meron tayong mga comebackers, meron din tayong mga stayers dito sa ating buong Masters Summer, no? You have a very, very big lineup para makita ang mga exciting playstyles ng ating mga team. Pero, nakikita natin ang ating mapul, Mochi, it's the same. It's Ankara Black Widow Eagle Eye 2.0. It's still New Compound, New Mexico, Port, and as well as Subbase. I feel like this time around, Mochi, compared to the Masters before yung last season natin, marami ng kakaibang mga openings na parang map prioritizations ng ating mga teams.
For sure. Especially that little by little, yung mga teams na talagang vinavouch natin na magkakaroon ng upward trajectory as it comes by dito sa ating buong taon na puno na Crossfire is talagang nadidiscover na nila ang kanilang mga identity at paunti-unti na natin na pipinpoint ang kanilang mga strengths and weaknesses and what they should be working on more. And here is ang ating mga participating teams, no, ang ating pub na magpapakita sa inyo kung sino-sino ang mga yan at malalaman din natin kung sino ang mga mukha sa likod ng mga logong iyan maya-maya at doon ang magsiset ng tone, ng standard at ng init dito sa ating unang araw sa ating group stage.
Yeah, just looking at these participating teams, no, Mochi, may kita mo na agad na hindi lang isang storyline na may kita natin dito, but multiple storylines that branches out to whatever they want to prove pagdating dito sa ating mga sa ating Masters, no. You have an immediate team na talagang top 1, pero syempre
na pangyayari, especially there was been like quite discussions, no, na nangyari, wala na si Raida, some of their players went to become more on the content creation side. Yung iba nag-retain dito pa rin sa ating lobby, dito sa ating league. And unfortunately though, yung iba sa kanila hindi nakaabot, but we have Taring Bobby, which I do believe we will be seeing a lot of new faces din dito as time goes by. But for veteran, it's still them. And we already saw kung paano sila nag-improve. We already saw how they've been able to try and catch up with the meta that is ongoing here dito sa local scene natin, and it's wonderful that we're seeing them again.
And now, dito naman sa ating Philippine bracket, no, Mochi, in this Swiss format, everybody played very, very well. You can see naman na Fervin and as well as Steam Stallions talagang nag 2-0 up against all of the teams that they basically fought up against ito sa Swiss format natin. Tapos yung mga nasa baba ng Mochi, lahat yan duguan, lahat yan baraga ng mukha, lahat yan mayroong mga setting stones na parang, wait lang, ba't ganito yung nangyari? Especially sa mga teams na just like Comeback Friends na talagang nahirapan dito just because tignan mo naman yung matchup ni Mochi. I believe it was Stallions then Virtus Pro, tapos aabot sila dito up against SGJ, which was a
Mm-mm.
very good team. Kaso, mas malakas lang talaga dito yung pag-comeback ng buong Comeback Friends. And of course, dito rin natin nakita yung 2 JY teams na parang, uy, wait lang, parang gone are the days na ba na Pacific is gonna be having 2 representatives sa Masters? Yes, it is, kasi napapunta sila dito sa ating impact. Plus, yung mga Masters teams natin, just like ALG last time, na dumayo pa naman up until the group stage, ay ngayon mapupunta sa impact. So, a lot of things really happened. Lot of improvement, lot of things happened. And what can we say? Ito na, new set of participating teams, and everybody is gunning not just for that spot sa podium finish, but for the 2 EWC.
Wonderful there, Bipolar, is the fact that the traditional and the modern is finally meeting, no, dito
Oh, yeah.
sa ating sa istorya ngayon, na dati kamakailan lang compare natin sila, no? We are dividing these generations, pero right now we are seeing them in just a single screen. At ngayon, nakita naman natin partida daw si Aiden. Dalawa lang daw yun nilaro nito, pero nasa top 1 siya. Shoutout sa'yo, man. And we also have Alden following that up alongside with CVN, RTA, and as well itong si Dre.
If you think about it, no, itong top performers natin are, you know, the past people that we were seeing before the recent Masters, no? Pero with Comeback Friends coming back to the scene, Aiden and Aldrin stopping our top performers, number 1 and number 2 spot, it's a good setting point, no, Mochi, na parang wait lang, Comeback Friends, they have this kind of power. Tignan natin yan pagdating dito sa ating group stage, kung ano nga pwede lang gawin kapag ganito ng sitwasyon, kapag best of 3, full-on series, kapag up against teams na lahat makakalaban nila. But RTN, CBN, Dre, feeling ko everybody knows na kaya naman nila umabot dyan sa top performance. But now, Mochi, ano nga ba yan?
Grabe. Players to watch out for. Kitang-kita ang kulay ng asul, puti at itim dito. We have Alden, Aiden, Woods, and as well as Tesu 4 occupying ating 1, 3, and 4, 5 na players, sir, at ang bukod tanging ng gagaling sa VP ay itong si Yobib. And you know what, Bipolar, ang general na ideya na gusto kong ipakita dito is yung fact na here for Comeback Friends, hindi biro yung pinagdaanan nila ng ating qualifiers. And them being able to appear dito sa ating players to watch out for at 4 sa kanila in just a single category says a lot about sa kung ano ang makakayang gawin nila dito.
Yeah, alam mo, ito nga yung crazy, no, na hindi nga naging madali yung laban dito ng Comeback Friends just because they were up against top 2 teams natin dito, Virtus Pro, Instance, just like what you've said. Pero for them to garner this kind of like mindset and this kind of like stat line, that is pretty crazy. But Yobib,
Right.
It's the Dark Prince, man. Alam natin na dyan yun palagi. It's just concerning na wala this talents, pero talagang ginalingan talaga dito ng Comeback Friends.
Of course. At kaya naman sa mga nag-aabang na nagtata, ano po bang schedule? Ano pong laban, mami? Laban
Ayan
po bang
na.
STS later on? Eto na guys, no? We have CV versus Acceptance. We have matches and as well as Forbid after that one. And last but not the least, mapapaaga at papatan ng Team Stallion and as well as Execration.
If you think about it, no, Mochi, itong show natin, I feel like it really sets a tone pagdating dito sa Masters Summer. Just because you have teams that are coming back to the scene, that are trying to prove themselves through the recent roster changes, tulad na itong first match natin, matches and they've been in this situation before. And for them to fight up against each other pagdating dito sa ating first day ng group stage, well, this will definitely set a tone as well. Pagdating sa mga susunod pa nilang matchup. Forbid is undoubtedly a team everybody was surprised to see. Matches also surprising na now with the recent roster changes with Vincent, kaya ba nilang lumaban up against the brain of Angelito Jayo? Masasabi ko sa dalawang teams noon. And of course, execration, it was like they still need to execute that kind of mindset na wait, kaya nga ba ng execution ulit umabot ng UM or at least mapapush ang ating players Stallions after that stint mula sa recent Masters na.
Yeah, and especially included na rin the fact that there are a lot of negative feelings coming from community na rin, no, with the performance nila pag dito na execration beforehand. And I really do hope na makita natin there are some signs of life, signs of improvements then and development na makikita natin later on, no, the moment na makatapat nila at Team Stars. Kasi biro mo, unang at walang sinampal na sila kaagad ng matchup nila against Team Stallion. So, I hope that will be okay later on. We'll see lot of reflections na rin siguro, no, about how it will be transpiring as time goes by. Pero by the way, guys, kung kita niyo yung nandyan sa baba, for our play of the week, meron tayong pag-giveaway. Meron kayong chance na manalo ng 100 eats. And kailangan nilang gawin is to like, follow ang ating official CROSSFIRE Philippines Facebook and YouTube pages. Ayan ang QR code. Saan ba yun? Yeah, tama dyan.
Yan.
Meron tayo QR code dyan. Scan nyo lang yan para meron na kayong entra dyan. And be sure to like and share yung featured highlight post natin publicly. Abangan nyo na lang kung kaninong player yan, kaninong team yan. Kahit alin dyan, no, pwede na yon. Basta naka-publicly share yan. And ang ating step 3 in your caption, tell us bakit deserve nun to be in the top 1 play of the week. Kasi yung mga boto niyo magre-reflect yan sa ating mga broadcasts by soon.
Yun ang ano, everybody, get your e-coins up and get the submissions in. Kasi kung ako sa inyo, kunin nyo na opportunity na to kasi CROSSFIRE, maraming salamat po sa inyo for giving us an opportunity to connect with the community even more and to give back sa community natin. Kasi nakita mo na, Mochi, no, from all of the tournaments that we have for the past 2 years, ang daming suporta, and this is our time to give back to you guys. So maraming salamat po, and help us na rin, no, and to get featured as well pagdating dito sa sports. Plus, di lang naman yan na merong giveaway tayo, Mochi, no, meron din naman tayo mga giveaway sa kanya-kanya nating pages. So if you want more e-coins, well, get on that as well.
Oo nga, no, singit na lang din natin yun. Kung gusto nyo ba ng karagdagang e-coins, check nyo yung mga pages namin, no? Yung Sticky Frog, El Salvatore, lahat kami dito, check nyo isa-isa, at pagka ginawa nyo yung mga mechanics doon, meron kayong multiple entries, multiple chances of winning. Kaya balik na tayo dito sa ating laban ngayon. We have, again, Comeback Friends versus Team Acceptance. We have a lot to unpack here, Bipolar, and I feel like marapat-rapat namang datin na i-point out ano nga ba talaga ang ipinaglalaban nitong dalawang team natin para sa matchup na ito.
I mean, like, let's start it off with Acceptance. So, Acceptance did have a good run pagdating sa Impact last time. Yes, they did not end up with a trophy win or a title win pagdating sa Impact, pero sila yung nag-qualify dito sa Masters. And I feel like that has even more pressure pagdating sa kanila at mas may weight yun compared sa nangyari sa Impact. They were proud up against him, no? Nakausap natin si Hek beforehand, off of the streams and off of the broadcast, and sabi nila, ito yung inaasam ng buong Acceptance with their OG team na kasama si Silent and as well as si Hek, and I believe it was one more, nakalimutan ko lang, my goodness, but the OG roster dito ng 3 players natin mula sa Acceptance, ito yung hinahangad na. And since hindi talaga sila umabot last time, sabi na, uy, wait lang, ito na, kailangan natin galingan, kailangan i-prove na Acceptance is still here and Hek can still outfrag everybody sa scene pagdating sa Sniper despite the age gap na nakikita natin, no? But for Comeback Friends, itong Comeback Friends kasi they're a bunch of players na talagang kung saan mo nakuha, pero star players pa din yung merong kalibre itong team na to, which means looking at the top performance pa lang, Mochi, nakikita mo na agad kung ano nga bang lakas ang team na to, and up against Acceptance, doon natin makikita ang ating possible results mula sa Comeback Friends. Kasi little bit of a backstory. Acceptance now, hindi na sobrang passive, Mochi. Meron na yung on and off switch na kayang mag full forward push, and kaya rin nila maging very held back. Yun ang kagandahan. Marami nag-improve just from these 2 teams.
Yes, and I'm really excited kung ano nga rin yung ipapakita nila dito later on, no? Kaya ilatag na rin natin kung ano nga ba ang meron para sa ating mga predictions individually here dito sa panel, and as well as para sa ating mga casters. It is going to be a series of 2-0s para sa amin ni Sneaky Frog, and we also have 2-1s para sa iyo, Bipolar, and as well as L. Bakit mo sa tingin nga kailangan na deserve na bigyan ng isang mapa itong si Team Acceptance based on your prediction?
I feel like it's not really the powers of Acceptance as a whole, kasi syempre medyo para sa akin hilaw pa dito yung Acceptance just because it's Acceptance at the end of the day. You don't rely on these players a lot kapag clutch time. They thrive off of like set plays and as well as big team fights. Pero for Comeback Friends, kaya nila impitasin isa't isa, but there's also that probability na they will falter in the midst of the chaos. Yan ang lakas ng Comeback and Friends. But if they really, cannot close the map, especially pagdating sa map VETO, Mochi, it will tell a lot kung ano nga ba ang pwede maging scoreline natin. Kaya ako nagtutuwa. And plus, first runner-up in last time, Acceptance, I'll give them a map win here.
I see. On my end naman, it's just because of how Comeback Friends survived the most gruesome bracket So
That's
parang
true.
battle-hearted at battle-ready na
That's
to
true.
mga to. And I feel like they have no time to lose and no energy to waste. But I feel like it's also about time for us to break down kung ano nga ba ang meron dito sa ating mga players for every single team. Let us start kay Comeback Friends. We've already been able to point out kung ano nga ba ang alas na meron dito for Alden. Parang dati lang, no? Galing siya matches, alongside ito si Yabe. Pero right now, ito ipati ito si Tetsu nandito na rin. And as well as itong si Aiden na kung kani-kanina lang, no? Kung nare-recall nyo, nasa top performer natin siya. Number 1 despite just playing a couple of series as well. And we also have Fuz and Wright. Anong thoughts natin dito, Bipolar?
I mean, Comeback and Friends, sinabi ko na nga beforehand, no? Even you agree on with this point, Mochi. Star players to, kumbaga. Pinagsama-sama yan to a team to combine them into Comeback Friends. You have Yaba na last time, I believe he was in the show match pa nga lang. And high praise to mula sa top 2 coaches natin. Mula kay Coach Tanks, mula kay 0-2. But for the entirety of Comeback Friends, their team goal is to reach playoffs first. And see what happens. Yun ang sabi ng IGL nila ni Tetsu. Pero syempre, yung pinakadulong sasabihin niya doon, hopefully, bonjour Paris daw. So they have this little bit of ano, di ba? Little bit of ano, na goal na, wait, kailangan natin makapasok ng playoffs, pero kailangan din natin makoy EWC. That's what you want to see from Comeback Friends, na hindi sila takot na maglabas dito ng mga gantong kind of mindsets.
Of course. And I feel like that's also a good thing to point out, no? We have a bunch of hopefuls here in Comeback
Grabe.
Friends that are like parang pinagpipitas na mga parte, na mga malalakas na mga teams natin dito sa ating PH scene, and hence this is what you've got. And so far their performance has been definitely promising, and I can't wait but to see kung ano nga ba ang mga ipapakita nila dito kontra sa Team Acceptance. Kasi nabanggit na natin earlier on, no, again, Team Acceptance is also a team to be reckoned with. But again, here is the schedule na meron dito for CBF. At kung sino-sino kanila makakatapat dito, I can say that it's pretty decent start. Because sa bandang dulo pa sila makakapag balagbagan dito.
You know nga, Mochi, looking at this journey para sa Comeback Friends, you have Atras, veteran matches for Vid, and as well as starring Bobby. Pagdating dito sa first matches nila, saka lang na may kita Execution Stallions, VP, and as well as Atras sa pinakadulo. So I feel like the possibility of a 5-0 immediately, or possibly a 4-1, will not be entirely impossible. So Comeback Friends, yes, they're ready, yun yung sinasabi nila eh. But are they ready for these forces na lahat nakapag-improve? Are their off-season enough? Are there pub games enough para makalaban itong mga teams natin na tenured na basically, no, sa Masters? So it's very exciting na ganito yung sitwasyon ngayon ng Comeback Friends.
Of course, no? Kumbaga, time will tell at sila na, no? Kanila na ang manibela,
Yes.
CBF take the wheel sa kung saan nyo kami dadkin, ang adcount, kung paano namin magagawa ang aming mga naratibo, no? So, again, highly looking forward kung anong kanilang magiging performance dito. And in a bit, I do believe na pag-uusapan din natin dito ang Team Acceptance. Kasi kung kanina napag-usapan natin ang lakas and mga possibilities na maaaring i-unlock ng organic encounter, dito pag-uusapan natin ang reunion ng tatlong mga miyembro na meron dito for Acceptance right now.
Yeah, ito nga reunion ni Ajax, ni Silent, and as well as Nick. Ito yung sinasabi kong OG Acceptance roster dati. Pero kung bibilangin yung sinabi ko, 3 lang yun. Kasi meron silang pinasok na Dre at as well as si Ting. Dre and Ting are very, very young talents na kumbaga, aasahan mo naman in terms of fights. But the problem like right now, na Mochi, we talked about this beforehand, is that paano nga ba i-bridge yung 3 veterans natin na OG Acceptance and these 2 players na very young, and how does that combine? Makikita natin yun sa first games natin. But, ito naman yung team goal, Mochi, ng Acceptance. Ang team goal lang naman nila, in the very, very first start, is makapag-qualify ng Masters. Yes, gumaling sila dito sa Impact. Yes, napakita nga nila yung galing nila. Pero, the name of the game na palagi sinasabi ni Hek is that gagalingan pa nila para makaabot ng playoffs. So, that goal is not entirely, out of reach. Kaya naman. But with this roster and with this 3-2 setup na meron sa kanila ngayon, kaya nga ba? Yun ang tanong natin lang.
Yeah, yun yung challenge sa kanila dito, no? Paano nila paghihigihan at pag-iigtingan, because we already saw glimpses of their weaknesses back in our qualifs, no? Na kung saan ang mga natapatan nila dito, they got JY Bacolod, SGJ, Moment, hindi rin naman biro, no? Parang kasing tier naman ang kanilang mga katapat dito, but at the same time, there are some rounds na okay na sana, no? Malapit na sana lang makuha, pero napapakawalan, no? Parang slipping through my fingers all the time at certain occasions. Pero hopefully that we won't see that here for acceptance, and I'm pretty sure, no, just by looking at their faces, seems like ready na sila makapag-like versus dito.
Si Heckman, kausap kayo umaga pa lang. Kausap natin yung lahat umaga pa lang, sabi niya, uy, nagkape kami kanina kasi nag-practice pa kami nung madaling araw. So, they're ready. Pero tingnan natin kung malalabas ba nga dito ang angas ng buong acceptance. Looking at the matchup now, Mochi, CBF ang unang ng laban. It's almost the same, no, Mochi? Just like comeback friends. Ang problema lang dito is mapapaaga ang VP and as well as Magics.
Yes, and I feel like, acceptance, matutuwa na ako sa schedule na to, no?
Pwede
VP
na to.
Talaga yung magiging, parang matarik na daan na kailangan nilang tapatan on the way to their journey at the end of this group stage, no? And I feel like it's pretty much decent in design para dito for team acceptance na hindi sila mabigla, no, ng kumbaga as an entire team or as a whole. So, I guess this is also quite of a good way para mapakiramdaman din nila yung mga katapat din natin dito for our Rosie representatives as well, kasi yun yung sunod nilang katapat dito, it is gonna be Taring Babi as well. So again, so far maganda na naman ang pagkakasulat ng ating mga director dito sa ating mga schedules right now, and dude, this just means growth para dito for both of our teams na nanggaling sa qualips.
Yeah, and feeling ko, Mochi, all of us here sa casting pool, even for the whole talent pool, no, na parang we're hoping the best. Not just for teams na hindi pa naglalaro, but especially for these two teams na magsisimula pa lang. Yung acceptance na matagal na naghahangad na mapag-masters ulit, they got it right now. And ito, nagdama na natin. Mula pa lang sa mga interviews from before and from the recent stint and the recent journey na parang, we're not gonna let this slip past our hands. And that's intense to see. Kasi this is a roster mula sa acceptance na we can definitely say naman. And I feel like it's not really an insult at this point na parang this is very not a young roster anymore. Yes, nandyan si Dre, and yes, nandyan si Ting. Pero most of these talents, man, have been trying and trying for the longest of time. And I feel like this is the best roster of acceptance so far. Or at least on par with their best. So, if the time is close, well, the time is now para sa acceptance, right? And for comeback friends, well, let's see. Maraming bulgaran dyan, ma'am.
Wow, I couldn't agree with what you have mentioned. No, I feel like this definitely seems promising as their roster as a whole. And I feel like this will be providing them a lot more flexibility as well, no? And I just hope that they can work on more sa kanilang mga internal processes, especially when it comes to the mid-round calling and those types of stuff when the pressure and the situations already seem dire, because usually doon naman din talaga nagkakaroon ng mga problema. Kasi we already can point out sa teams na kung kailan mayroong mataas na pressure, doon sila nag-iinit. Siguro safe na rin na i-point out din si comeback friends yun, si execration ganon, sadyang nahihirapan lang silang tumapos, no? Team Stallions is also like that, VP is also like that. So again, individually, let's check out ang ating head-to-head. We have Yaba and as well as Ting.
Ooh, okay. Head-to-head matchup natin. I believe these were from our qualifier stats ng Mochi. So, these are attackers nonetheless. Or at least like backup players natin, no? I mean, Yaba has been one hell of a player. Every time he gives us silent, every time he gives us a show. And for comeback friends, well, can he shine up against together, no, with Aiden, Aldrin, and Ted? So nakita naman natin sa qualifiers na kaya ni Yaba gumawa ng plays, pero how well does it do it up against Ting na kaya namang mag-hold ng backlines? And you know what, this head-to-head will really show na parang yes, low in KD, yes, hindi ito yung mga out-fragging natin ng mga players, but they're a crucial part para makuha yung mga first wins natin, kasi the very series might have a very long time. Yun yung feeling ko mangyayari.
Yes, and before that time happens, no, I'm pretty sure na we'll be seeing a lot yung process mismo bago sila makapag-arrive dun sa prime form na inaabangan-abangan natin para sa kanila. Pero right now, let us check out kasi mukhang ready na ang ating map dito ngayon, no? Saan nga ba maglalaro itong ating mga teams? We are gonna find out because mukhang inalis na agad itong ating Black Widow, Ankara, New Compound, as well as Mexico, at ang tanging naiiwan is gonna be sub-base na Pinina Acceptance. We also have Eagle Eye and as well as Sport as our decider.
This is pretty crazy, Mochi. I'm not really concerned sa ating mga map picks, but I'm concerned on those first two bans. Black Widow, yes. Malakas dyan ang Comeback Friends. Respect given mula dito sa Acceptance. Pero Ankara, banned out mula sa Comeback Friends. This is one of their best maps. This is one of their favorite maps. Both of them, actually, yes. Pero kasi kung iisipin mo, Mochi, pagdating sa Ankara, Acceptance is very much readable. Very basic ang BL side nila. So it's why is Comeback Friends so scared of this? Yung GR side ba yun na Acceptance? But for them to open up sub-base, guess what? Acceptance is happy to take it for this first match, Mochi. But Eagle Eye 2.0 feeling ko dyan, magpapantay yung ating laban. That's why I feel like pagdating dito sa matchup na to, aabot pa tayo na po.
Yeah, I'm also wondering about that din, no, Bipolar. Yung thought process na we would rather ban Ankara and us play in Eagle Eye instead, na pareho tayong marunong din dito, no? I think it provides a lot more creativity and options siguro, no, pagdating dito sa Eagle Eye map na hindi na po provide ng isang Ankara. So, I can't wait kung ano din yung sasabihin ng ating mga casters about that later on. But again, ating last map, also gonna be pretty interesting and again, lots of stuff to unpack here sa map ng Port. Hindi na rin ako magtataka if we will also see some inspirations galing din sa galawan ng Virtus Pro dito para sa ating mga mapa na nandito. Pero I think we'll have further discussions underway dito sa ating desk. Kaya tatawagin na natin ang ating mga casters na mga kakasama natin maya-maya. Hugutin, hilahin mo na yan, Bipolar. And welcome na natin si Sneaky Frog and as well as si
May recoil pre.
May recoil, umaalog siya. So, hi Sneaky Frog and Elle, how are you guys doing? Start tayo kay Sneaky Frog kasi dude, qualifiers, hindi siya biro. Tapos ngayon dito na tayo.
I'm really astounded, really surprised, no, na yung 3 araw lang tayo nawala dito, Mochi, and I feel like it is like 2 or 3 years worth of off-season na nakuha nga natin right before the group stage. A lot of changes na pwedeng magpa-apekto ng mga standings sa teams natin, and I can't wait to dive right into it.
Yeah, sa naman, Mochi, I feel like mapakamot lang ang ulo kasi yung mga impact teams ko, yung mga bets ko, medyo nawala. Pero at least, there's acceptance, there's a trust, but I feel like it's still gonna be a long, long road ahead of them, especially that the flight to Paris is going to take quite a while. So, good luck na lang sa ating teams kasi for this summer season, mas nag-improve yung quality ng teams natin.
For sure. And speaking of quality, that also just means na mas magiging malapit yung ating mga laban dito, no? And speaking of ang ating points, ano nga ba ang impact ni Alden dito for our, as him being an addition for CBF?
Ito na nga, no, Aldrin is an addition to CBF that was very much needed. Not just crucial, needed talaga para dito sa ating comeback and friends just because he is a fragger that is very underrated in my opinion. Sa mundo na nakikita na natin dito sa Kano, si Yobib, and the rest of the playing pool na nakita natin for the last Masters, Aldrin still prevails. And he can still somehow outfrag these players. At kung, again, going back to our thought, no, comeback friends, they played up against the top 1 and top 2 teams. And for him to get out with this kind of total KD, well, this just really sets a tone na parang, comeback friends, threat nga ba sila? With the help of Aldrin, with the help of Tetsu, with the help of Eden. So, feeling ko, yes, this is very much clear, no, na parang kailangan natin lalong tutukan si Aldrin sa mga pwede niyang gawin dito sa mga matches.
Which would definitely be putting a bit of pressure din for Aldrin mo sa collateral noong ating inaabangang performance din galakan niya. And how about this one, no? What's maybe the X factor for comeback friends? Ano ang masasabi natin dyan?
In all honesty, I feel like I feel like we had plenty of discussions about yung snipers behind the scenes. Obviously, napaka paano ba tayo, napaka-spoiled na natin, kumbaga, pagdating sniper talent at tinagdagan pa natin si Woos dito sa CPF. And obviously, he will be the silent worker, no, para nga dito sa CPF. He's not the guy that you're gonna look at, okay, this guy will get the ace every single time na napapasok siya ng site. Instead, he will be the overseer para nga dito sa CBF. Kasi to be fair, no, I feel like Polar and L would agree with me on this. They don't need more aggression. Okay na yung aggression nila. Okay na yan. Kaya Woos will be standing right back, and of course, I feel like one of the main reasons why kung bakit na-enable yung mga teams na to be, or at least CBF to be specific, no, to be more aggressive, is their backups. Man, Yaba also needs some credit about that. Pero Woos does a great job as well.
I feel like that's also a good thing, no? Who is actually playing as being the guardian angel, I guess, para dito for the team of CVF. And I do think that we have one more remaining na mapopoint out din dito, no, para sa ating match-up right now. Pero again, with Woos, parang kamakailan lang nakita siya sa isang random night, and then I think I want you, sabi ni Tetsu, and then boom, andyan na siya. This one, at qualified to Summer Masters, SCJ accepted their fate. El, how about this one?
I mean, sinabi ko nung nag-cast ako sa Impact, tanggapin nyo na lang talaga na fluke lang yung panalo dito ng SCJ sa Impact, and it should be at trust and acceptance at the very start, no, that got the spot talaga dito sa Master. Sure, I mean, medyo kilala na dito si SCJ, inaabangan nga yan for their matchup versus Pro, di ba? Pero hindi nangyari sa Swiss at hindi mangyayari yan dito sa Masters natin, because of course, even with the swap-ins dito na ginawa na acceptance, no, even with all these changes na ginawa nila, they beat a fully fledged SGJ na naghanda in the small time span kung saan may pagitan yung Impact, Playoffs, and yung Swiss stage natin, no. So, kung hindi kaya ng SGJ yun, well, tanggapin nyo na lang, nababalik kayo sa Impact at makikita nyo ako doon madalas.
My, couldn't agree more with that one, no? The disappointment of SGJ not advancing here, and the surprise of having them piring dito, no? And I guess that will be it. All of the pointers inilatag na dyan ng ating mga kasama, kaya naman dito na tayo sa two-year action. It is about time for Sneaky Frogwing L na ihatid sa atin. Tunay na laban, rakrakan na.
There you go. I think, Sneaky, it's just perfect to start off na this is the summer season. This is the second leg of our C Masters. The first step to the international. The road to Paris begins with this single step. Pero para sa mga ibang team, itong grueling na season natin will either be the road to Paris o yung daan nila papunta sa tabi ng road para kumain ng Pares. This first match natin, Acceptance and CBF. Sneaky, I have 3 questions for you. What are your expectations for these teams? What are your expectations for their season? And what do you think will happen dito sa map VETO natin? Because we did not expect that ang Caravan.
Ayun nga, no, expectation siguro for both of these teams, siguro para dito sa CBF, considering that, you know, they're an OQ team, probably the best OQ team so far na nakita nga natin dito sa C Masters because we've only had one. So, ayun nga, I feel like this kind of team, especially itong si Tetsu and you know, the rest of the boys, it's a high variance team, no. You kind of get used to it. Yun nga, every single time that he enters itong Masters is either yun nga, napakataas ng level ng kanilang gameplay, or you are gonna see some of the worst crossfire you've ever seen dito sa ating broadcast, no. So yun nga, no, that's the duality ng pagkanood nga dito ng CBF. Para naman sa Acceptance, I think Polar had a fair point, no, about yung kanilang head-to-head kanina of Acceptance being more of a grouping team rather than dito sa CBF that's more individual. So I expect na, you know, mas maganda at mas matalas yung kanilang mga executes, especially this time, na mas may enable nila si Dre dito, pare, kasi Dre specifically nung OQ, that guy absolute demon time, man, and one of the main reasons why kung bakit nag-qualify itong Acceptance as well as itong si Heck. And I feel like if those two can really turn the engine on na napakaaga dito sa laruan natin, we can definitely do something. Pero expectation siguro para sa ating series, I would say, ayun nga, this might be close or this could be a one-sided affair. Yan yung levels rin ng dalawang teams natin. Acceptance can also play very high and very low. Crossfire, para naman sa CBF, is the exact same thing. But it really depends on how mag-interact kayong kanilang playstyle dito. Going back to the point ni Polar nga kanina, how will the individual, you know, death by 1,000 stings na playstyle compare dito sa grouping, you know, parang special forces like kind of spacing, no, dikit-dikit talaga, back-to-back. So how is that gonna interact with each other? Para I feel like this is really gonna be very entirely dependent on timings talaga kasi CBF heavily dependent on timings from time to time, pero kung masungkit lang nila yun, men, that could really disrupt kung ano man nangyari dito. Pero speaking of the map veto, nasa third question na ako sa iyo, El. It's a really good first two maps para dito sa CBF. I'm not gonna lie. Some base, itong Eagle Eye, Port,
Iwan niyo ako, pre.
up in
Ay,
the
na?
air, in all honesty.
Wala pa,
Pero
wala
of
pa,
course,
wala pa.
first round,
Wala namang
dito
bent,
sa
no?
base.
Wala naman.
Sa akin pa.
But we don't care about that. Sige, we're gonna listen in on the comms here. Already one man down dito sa acceptance. That is Dre. And so far, with that initial pick, Sneaky, CBF will just quietly go into the night, pare. Tatanggapin nila yung one pick na nakuha nila and they will just reset the default. And yun nga, no, sinasabi natin dito, that is where CBF shines, in their individuals. But, of course, contrast natin sa acceptance, makikita natin na they are a snowball team. But if you pick off the snowball bit by bit, no, hinagisa mo ng bato hanggang sa mag-crumple na siya bago pa siya lumanding sa pinaka-bottom ng hill natin. There isn't really a snowball, right? So the big difference dito that I would like to see is, will this mid-rounding as a team from acceptance beat the mid-rounding of the individuals dito ng CBF? We're about to find out as well, because acceptance, they have already made their way dito sa may pintuan na sa shutter, about to find their way sa may control room. Pero ang labo pa, no? Kasi wala sila nakikita kahit ganito sila kalalim sa ating sites.
Yeah. Second mid control though, nasa kamay dito ng acceptance. But I feel like CBF, mas priority nila i-reserve or preserve itong 5 versus 4 advantage na meron sila. And the fact na ganito yung kanilang default, pare, naaning yung acceptance para makahanap ng kill dito. Pero acceptance, gusto na pumasok dito ng Shutter Wolves. First kill dito kay Ajax. Second, wala pang darating. Silent will be getting Wolves in return. Pero si Yaba, getting things silent so far. Good for dude. Sniper Heck, nakarating na ng CR. Quick scope, USP, makakapatay ng dalawa. Piso na lang dito si Tetsu. Sniper versus sniper action, pero naka-HK dito si Tetsu, will be going for the full swing and the full headshot. The captain once again on low HP, getting a clutch.
Health disadvantage, be damn sneaky. That is how you play dito for CBF. Sure, yung individuals yung papakita natin dito at the start of the round, but when we get what we want, papakita naman natin sila ng konting team play. The macro is still there. Of course, they are veterans in the scene, pare. But of course, in this team na sabihin na natin impromptu, yung pagkakagawa sa nila, no, you're going to expect the tenure to come out of this team, especially in this fashion where, you know, alam naman natin na limited lang yung time nila in terms of scrimming. Sure, nag-8v sila, nagpa-pub game sila, whatever they wanna do in their free time to practice. Pero as a team, a bit lukewarm pa sa aking opinion, no? This time though, we're going to see acceptance dito sa ating MR, sa may lababo, tinatawag natin dito. 2 players try to contest dito sa may LR natin, sa may bungad. Pero so far, again, CBF knowing that they cannot make that push para, or they cannot make that initial contact, will rely on that very deep-seated default. Pero si Aldrin may makikita, pero baback out muna siya.
Yeah, tama na lang LR Aldrin. HK headshot na naman para sa kanya. Ajax nahulog na agad. Na-stuck na sa LR itong acceptance. With a cheeky angle. Has to be careful about his position. Kita ang kanyang legs. Pero may choice na dito yung acceptance. Kung aalisan nyo ba tong LR, meron na kayong onting space dito sa B-site. But with the amount of members meron dito sa CBF, parang hirap na nito. Pero Tetsu,
that's good.
caught looking at passage at nagkamali siya ng tingin doon, pare. Woods still trying to spot whoever's in the corner. Ting finally down. Dre bababa ng fence at sa loob ng crosser ni Aiden. Aldrin getting silent as well. Heck, nakabawi na. Pero yung C4 natin nasa gitna ng kawalan. Yaba inside of the site. Iiko him in.
Wala na siyang magagawa dito si Heck, no? I mean, he's just stuck both ways, pare, between an Aiden and a Yaba. And that USP, wait a minute, will be a bit labored in then. Pero the HK will do the trick here. CBF with a second. And ganda nga ng point dito, no, nila Mochi kanina. Woos will be that gatekeeper. No, that passive player that will step up at the right moment for CBF. Pero dead run muna tayo. Of course, you're going to expect this, Nick. It's the first day natin, no, pagbabalik sa ating group stage summer. And of course, mainit na yung panahon, mainit na yung mga PC ng player. A dead round is the proper call. Siguro, let's fix things for a moment. No, make sure that the rest of the day goes forward as clean as possible.
Yun nga, man. I feel like, yun nga, yung pagka-impromptu nga dito ng CPF is also kind of helping them, be one of the more unreadable teams dito sa ating tournament, no? And I feel like it was very evident nung nakita natin yung nakalaban nila yung Stallions and itong VP. And it's kind of I wouldn't say a casualty or a side effect siguro ng pagiging ganito na style of having, you really do not know what to expect pagpasok mo dito sa round, basically. Pagkalaban mo yung CBF. And I feel like it was very evident to sa Stallions game. It was slightly evident dun sa VP game, but I feel like they kind of caught a lot more with that, pare. But I feel like mas na full display na dito, pare. At the start of the round, obviously, maghahanap to ng 5 versus 4 itong CBF, and they're gonna play off of that right after. No? Meron silang aggression, pero pag na-recognize na nila na meron silang massive advantage dito sa mapa, hindi nila tinutulak masyado, which is the right mindset to have. Kasi, ayun nga, kayo yung nang-aaning ng acceptance dito, and we see it that acceptance are kind of forced to make these bad decisions, kaya na nakita natin sa Ben from Ray, nakita natin from Passage, and yung LR push kanina, pare, I feel like may moment of hesitation galing dito sa acceptance na gusto na ipasok yung site, but at the same time, I feel like na nakain sila na sarili nilang setup dito, pare, kasi tatlo na kayo nasa LR, tapos doon pa kayo mag-iisip kung magpa-passage pa kayo or mag-shouter. Nandun na kayo, pare. Aldrin's already shooting at Ting, so decisions have to be made faster para sa acceptance, pare.
Yeah, that's the thing that I like to call the impact syndrome, pare. No? That mid-rounding talaga na hindi na solusyonan na even Atras has this problem sometimes. So granted, they are impact teams. No? Even if the caliber of players na meron sila, experience man and all that, nandun talaga minsan dahil siguro bago addition dito si Dre, si Ting as well, medyo baguhan pa sa sistema. Yung tatlong magkakaibigan dun sa acceptance, sure, may sarili na silang mundo. Pero when you try to integrate new people, right, doon tayo mahihirapan sa ating decision making. That's where we'll see the hesitation rather. So CBF on the other hand, I feel like sa Swiss stage natin, pare, ito yung pinaka embodiment ng gambler's fallacy. They're gonna try the craziest strat and expect it to work, and then they're gonna try it again even if it failed the first time around. Pero this time around though, they already made their bank. Kinash out na kagad nila. Second round pa lang kagad nun, nakita na nila na, okay, to acceptance parang hindi masyado confident kapag kumukuha ng space. What if banatan natin ng wag tayo gumalaw, no? Talaga mag-30 lang tayo dito sa mga sites natin, wag tayong kumuha ng angles, hayaan lang natin na sila yung magkamali, palapit sa atin kung saan tayo comfortable. Yun yung napapansin ko sa CBF na siguro dahil din sa dinaanan nila sa Swiss stage na napakahirap na daan, no? VP, STS, no? And then some 3 teams na, well, hindi naman masabing madali, hindi masasabing mahirap, competitive at least for them. The challenge in itself was the reward, no? That I think made them learn to add this new depth of play sa kanilang macro, and if we see more of this, no, in this matchup pa lang, they can go anywhere, and if we see this develop pa into the further matches that we have in the big marquee matchups, katulad ng Virtus Pro at Transfer Vid, no, and STS, who's to say na hindi nila matatalo yun, di ba?
For sure. I feel like CBF definitely capable of a whole lot of things dito sa mapa natin, and I feel like it couldn't work, no, yung solution dito ng acceptance. Baka mag-turtle muna sila sa start ng round, maybe try to find some stragglers, no, para nga sa CBF, considering na CBF is always trying to find for that 5 versus 4, and ayun nga, it could work, it could not work, really depends upon kung anong strat it is happening that round, no, para you have to really catch them on the timing na sila naman yung kukuha dito ng MR, sila naman yung kukuha dito ng Woods, and that timing, maybe it can't come, yun nga, no, mali mo, hindi pala darating. Tetsu's the type of guy to see na, oh yeah, this B defense is working, let's run it back like 5 more times, pare. And kung yun nga yung pwede mangyari dito, then acceptance to have a bit of a pickle happening. Kaya I feel like we might start to see yung Woods, maybe a lot more action dito sa passage, maybe a lot more fence control attempts galing dito kay Heck, kasi ang pakiramdam ko kailangan nila i-take yung pressure off of dito sa B site, kasi yun nga, kagaya na nangyari kanina dun sa LR, everybody was in there and there's already massive pressure galing dito sa CBF, so nga wala silang magawa sa type na yun. So I feel like maybe it is either magpa-passive sila sa start ng round, and then right after they are gonna weigh out their options. No, kunin yung Woods, kunin yung passage, kunin yung outside, see what's up dito sa mapa, pare. Exactly. What can you take kung kayo yung acceptance?
Now we're about to see right now, no, Sneaky, as we get back into the game dito, medyo tama tayo sa sinabi natin na medyo umalis na sila sa MRN towards that B presence. Tingnan mo dito kagad yung ating player number 5 sa acceptance dahil nawawala pa yung ating mga player names. Ayun si Ting, no? Nakatanim na kagad siya dito sa mid, dulo na mid. and he's just waiting for something to happen. No? Tama nga yung passiveness, pero again, that Woods presence that you said will be there, but it's silent to get the kill. Tetsu down, but the trade here for Yaba is good.
Yes, Price committed to that spray. Heck, nakuha na ka dito si Yaba, so the backup and the
Ajax.
captain is down para dito sa side ng CBF. Makakababa ng Vince at magugulat dito si Woods. Probably double scoped dito sa Woods para mahanap itong si Heck. And Ajax meron na siyang control dito sa CR, but a quick push galing kay Aiden to try and even get a foot dito sa round natin pare, pero hindi na nga makukuha. Aldrin na lang natitira. And the individuals, granted they can shine, pero Aldrin has produced multiple amazing clutches. Dre mapapaakyat at mapapababa very quickly. Aldrin already nagsimula na nga, pero tatapusin na agad ni Aiden. Ipatuloy yan pare.
Yeah, no more shenanigans dito para sa CBF, no? And I feel like that's the individuals once more dito from CBF that one. Sure, they may shine, pero once again, you guys are just individuals. Nakita mo naman yun, no? Si Ting lang siguro yung nag-solo dito para sa acceptance natin. And 2 members make that 3 pa nga yung nakatoka dito sa may woods natin. Talagang inaantay nila yung magiging possibility na pwede mag-push dito yung CBF, pero back at it again, no? They're gonna cash out na pare while they're still ahead and make sure that this turtling default works. Pero may ibang idea si Aiden, no? He's gonna try hold dito sa may bangin, sa may luwag. Pero okay lang naman to. Hindi naman sila nagpo-push, no?
Oh no.
It's gonna be the Vincent angle. But opposite. The GR Vincent angle, pare. They're gonna get one. That's Ajax down.
Di na paikot dito yung tropa natin na si Ajax, pare. Could not even bait the shot. Kung sino ba na nasa loob doon. Pero silent kasi nagbilisan ng A-site. Aiden caught immediately. Silent with a good tap off. Pababa dito ng luwag. Tetsu nakot na rin dito sa CR. Pero Booz can maybe get 1 number back. Pero Dre, napakabilis ng trade dito kay Yaba. Aldrin and the sniper. And suddenly, it's only the sniper and si Dre na nasa loob ng site. 28 seconds. Heck with a nice shot dito kay Wooz. Aldrin, a 1 versus 2. Another clutch attempt para sa kanya, pare. May hirapan sa makapasok dito ng site. Sikip lang yata ang kanyang pakay. At sikip lang siya mamamatay dito. 2-2 acceptance. Ayun nga, man. I feel like weighing their options is now working for them, pare.
Yeah, the mid round, no? That has been the plague of their existence ever since they started this Impact. Somehow a bit of a problem dito sa Swiss stage natin. But slowly and surely, no, nakikita natin yung improvements, and that round was the evidence dito ng acceptance to prove to us that, hey, we are improving. Yes, may bago kami mga membro, pero we're gonna leave them to their own devices muna. Hayaan namin yung core players dito, Ajax, Silent, and Heck, to do the dirty work and let these new additions shine in their own playstyle muna, no? Makita mo si Ting, pangatlong beses na niya yan dito sa angle na to sa mid-dulo, pero wala talaga siyang pakialam dito sa CBF, no? Because he knows that CBF will not guarantee a push towards him, no? Hindi siya mahuhuli, hindi siya ma-pick off. Better siguro kung yung CBF ay pumunta dito ng MR, dun lang siya siguro madadali, pero napakalabo din naman kasi na may MR push, sabay passage push dito na manggagaya sa CBF, no? So he's hedging his bets dito talaga na walang pag-iingay o walang lalapit sa kanya, and then let these 4 members of acceptance, no, yung mga natira sa gilid-gilid natin na humawak lang ng area and then decide on the push. However, as I've been saying all that, no, they spend quite a lot of time dito, pare, to think about saan ba talaga sila pupunta. And I feel like with the Savor being picked up here and the lean dito ni Heck towards sa tingin niya sa LR, no, the creep up might be a fake towards B, pero it's a fake towards A rather. And with 1 minute remaining, sure na dapat dito si Dre na makukuha niyo yung entry.
2 players on lockers. Heck, kailangan makuha dito si Aldrin. Hindi nakatayo sa DR, kundi nakatayo sa harap ng entrada ng ating lockers. Grenade, masakit yan, pero di masyado. Surprisingly, Dre, barely damaged by that HE at mamamatay na nga sa headshot dito ni Aldrin. Pero Aldrin getting taken down in the third good phase. Dito by Heck with the USP. Tetsu spray down onto 2 players. And Silent, the thing is down. Ajax, nakita na nga dito si Aiden sa second mid. Yaba spray down. Now down as well. Ajax piso na lang, pero grabe ang kanyang impact. 19 seconds. Tetsu has to hit both. Tetsu with the third, but cannot get the fourth. Wooz versus Heck. Nagkabaliktad na ang sitwasyon. Si Wooz naman ang naka-sniper, Heck naman ang naka-rifle. Wooz with the USP. Mapapaalis 5 segundo
plan!
para makababa ng C4. Saktong-sakto yan para kay Heck. Pero nandito na yung USP ni Woos. Ikutan nga ba? Ikutan, ring around the rosy. Pero Heck with the lower HP. And that is a clutch para kay Woos. CBF. High octane round pare.
Ring around the rosy, but granted though, that round kind of felt like a rosy round though, in terms of how magulo siguro. That's the perfect magulo yung nangyari though. I mean, nakikita ko naman yung bagal ng tempo natin, but this time around, Sneaky, no time for talking. Tetsu will just take things in his own hands pare. He's challenging dito sa may bintana. Wala siyang nakikita though, and I think it's a fail. Tatlo sila dito, nasa MR. Yes, they get the control, pero yung laban parang hindi pa pumapabor sa kanila. So, if Acceptance tries to fight this, which they cannot dahil nag-bounce na sila agad, it's gonna be a stalemate. A stalemate, but they said, I'll do it again. I'll let it ride. One more MR push.
Of course, that's Tetsu's whole playstyle pare. He is the definition of letting it ride. Pero Tetsu, another individual shot, possibly dito kay Ajax, possibly can't surprise him, pero may lumabas bigla na passive,
Oh,
and there is
Tetsu!
3 heads popping, galing dito sa metal box. Ajax, still low on the HP, gets the wall bang dito kay Aldrin, napakanipis ng bintana doon, but he still hits the shot. Ding at Ajax, barely nabawasan ng acceptance in terms of HP and in terms of players dito pa rin, nawalan na nga ng dalawa itong CBF. Pero, posturing itong B-side, B-split potentially, para dito sa side ng acceptance. Gulat na lang
That's
si
a
Yaman
huge
na may
pick.
mag-pick bigla dito sa passage. Aiden, it's all on you to take this entire acceptance team down. Pero masyado kang humarap dito sa shutter at nakita ka sa second mid. Heck, at alam niya na kung nasa na last player dito. Do the math, wala ng tao sa B. Most likely nasa A yan pare.
You know, he's a bodybuilder talaga because he's flexing his big gun. Or guns, depending on which one he actually flexes dito. But Acceptance, getting the rounds that matter, no? That CBF push was something out of the moment for them, no? From a switch in the passiveness to an aggressive one, but Woos will make sure that Heck can only flex once this time around, and he will go down for doing that dito sa ating Woods angle. Silent in Ryan yung makapitas ng isa with the quick swap, pero babalik naman siya dito sa kanyang EBR pare. Now, this is the problem, no? We can see Acceptance in their mid-rounding kapag 5v5, kapag 5v4, they work, no? Sure, may 50-50-ish na sequences, pero they work, no? That's a guaranteed fact. Pero kapag man down na sila, and again, the impact syndrome comes, it kicks in again, hindi nila alam anong gagawin kapag wala sila isang miyembro na pwedeng pang trade, pwedeng pang ally. They think that it's always a negative. So, this group up is a sign of life, but again, how long will this group up last, no? Kailan sila magte-trigger? Kailan sila magpo-push? Or baka magkanya-kanya pa to ng angle papunta sa pintuan at dito sa sikip, no? They're gonna choose for the 1-3, and Aiden is here.
Ooh, Aiden already getting 2 down dito sa CR. Dre getting Tetsu, they needed that kill. Pero yung C4, di man lang nakadaan ng CR. Pero teka lang, Dre. The absolute impact galing sa kanya, pero masyadong mahaba ang EBR ni Silent. Pero alam nyo ba na may paparating na si Kip? Mukhang oo ang sagot sa tanong na yan, pare. CBF absolutely clearing everybody sa Acceptance. Pero kagaya nga sinabi mo, I feel like Acceptance is expecting CBF to push forward sa 5v4. Tetsu was literally just crouching dun sa metal box the entire time, doing his grenade dance, pare. They were not pushing, pare.
They're not gonna risk the all-in, pare. That's Aiden, or Aldrin rather, with the first skill, and not going all in once more. But this time, hindi nila alam dito si Ajax, pero still, Aldrin, or Yaba rather, will get that one. Aldrin with the assist though. The 3v5, again, just group up, try to hit a site, and then pray for the best. Acceptance, tatanggapin nyo na lang to, execute na to. But you have to go to Tetsu and Woos holding these angles perfectly sa may cram, sa may missile natin.
Oh, Woos already tagged up. Grabe yung paltok sa start ng round na yan. Yaba, headshot agad para dito kay Dre. Quick scope para kay Woos. What a shot on Silent, but what a shot from Heck as well. Tig isa silang quick scope dito. 1 versus 2. Heck, chance of a lifetime para makagawa ng highlight play that could show up on the For You page. Pero Aldrin not wanting to give him any freebies dito sa A site natin. Heck, Tamang upo lang. Alam niya kaya niyang pumaslang ng isa pa dito. Aldrin and Aiden, patience from both ends. Dito sa sikip at sa luwag. And pressure is on para kay Heck. Kailangan nilang pumili dito ng desisyon. Ano nga ba? Sino yung uunahin ko dito? Si Aldrin ba o si Aiden? C4 will be set down eventually. And Heck, time's up para sa kanya. But is time up for CBF? They're gonna group up. And I actually like this decision galing dito sa CBF. No? They rather get the trade going. Baka sa gitna pa ng kasa, mapapatay itong si Heck. Pero Heck, masyadong sumala sa sikip. And Aiden with a very quick headshot. Honestly, it's not a bad plan. Galing sa acceptance. So I feel like this is the only decision that they can make.
Yeah.
Sa mapa, considering 5 versus 3 pare. Pero sakit ng CBF eh.
Yeah, masabi lang natin na at least yung adjustment nila into thinking that the 3v5 push dito sa A site is worth it was very quick. No? Ang bilis ng transition nila, hindi na sila nag-isip ng masyado pang matagal. They did not let CBF cook any longer and it almost became a clutch, no? Kung naka-aum lang si Ek, no? Could have, would have, should have won, pero then again, Aldrin, makikita ng isa, but the second one, good! And that's the trade, pare.
Ooh, Aiden getting two. Right in front of him, pare. Aldrin finally down, Aiden down as well. Salamat nga dito kay Heck. Pero 2 versus 3. Still a lot in the air para dito sa dalawang teams natin. Dre headshot, pero si Yapa sasagot
Heck
rin.
again.
Tetsu versus Heck once again for the 4th time dito sa ating mapa. Pero mahanap pa ni Heck si Tetsu this time, or will it be the other on the Heck? Quick scope, possible, misses, HK hitting, Tetsu killing, headshot! Oh my goodness, CBF! A defuse and a headshot later and a cheeky smile galing dito kay Tetsu para he knew what he did.
Alam niyo siguro na ba't nag-iisip, ba't tumatakbo to si Heck? Saan to papunta? Ba't inakala ata na hinahabol siya dun sa DR eh? Pero no, he thought wrong pare, and Tetsu, well, he might risk most of the plays, but that one he was sure he was gonna win. No gambling in that scenario pare. And CBF, I feel like all things considered, pare, this is the best half that we can give them. Because acceptance, as much as they might be a shrug off dito sa mga perspective ng teams natin above them, they can still pull a punch dito, no? They can still throw a fight talaga sa ating mga teams. And especially CBF, no, with the tenure that they have and the experience that all of these players have, where chemistry is not a problem, albeit it's a small issue lang siguro. Masasabi mo na acceptance got the most out of their rounds, no? Siguro yun yung best na makukuha natin sa kanila. There were glimpses of, I would say, indecisiveness rather, not non-decision, indecisiveness in the mid-rounds. Pero once we saw na yung 4v5, yung 3v5, hindi na sila likot-likot pa. Talagang pinush na lang nila yung mga angles nila and they just went for the get-and-go exec. Well, at least nakita mo, there were chances of those rounds being converted to the side. Pero once we swap the rounds though, this is I think where CBF can deal the most damage. No? This is where it's gonna get worse for acceptance, and acceptance, you just gotta hold on for the ride.
Grabe. Nakikita mo na lang na lumiliyab bigla yung mata ni Aldrin dito. Napunta na sila dito sa BL side natin. He is waiting for that permanent green light. Pero speaking of green light, pare, on the A site, Atex, nakita na si Boost, pero silent nakatingin dito sa fence. Yapa getting Heck. Siya pala yung mag-enter dito, pero Tetsu will be already down. Silent, hindi pa siya na-clear dito sa Cram. Aldrin with the swing. But finally, Aiden takes him down. Pero Aldrin mamamatay na lang rin. Yapa low on HP. Aiden still on full. Spray down para kay Ting. But Aiden with the trade. 1 versus 2. Dre and si Ajax. CR sikip ang kanilang posisyon dito. Pero Aiden, HK 417 and a dream dito sa A side. Papaikot si Ajax. Opportunity for a 1v1 kill para dito kay Aiden. Nakaspatan niya dito si Dre. Pero si Dre makaspot sa kanya dito. And that's a 6-4 acceptance. Gandang bawi dito sa second half.
Yeah, ang ganda ng bawi, and I feel like they know all too well that CBF is just going to push, no, pare. Like, they're just gonna go all in dito sa isang angle. But this time around, no, Aiden, may balak dito sa vents natin. I wonder where still Mission Impossible will go, pare. Nakahawak dito si Aegis. And that's just the proper meeting time, pare. Buti na lang, nakaalis siya. And he gets one! And buti na lang may trade. The balls on this man, Sneaky. And the rest will follow. Exactly.
That's not how you get out of vents and get out of a precarious situation exactly like that. Yung parang nakita ka na sa vents, yung first course of action natin dun, men, is to
Get
U-turn
out.
at bumalik ka dun sa passage. Pero hindi.
He let
Wala
it
yan sa
ride.
instruction dito ni Aiden. He let it ride dito sa mid natin. Pure gambles, but the gamble's not gonna work para dito kay Tetsu. Nag-all in sa maling card. Trey. Hinap yung C4.
Uy!
Who's confirming na yung C4 na dito sa loob ng
Dre!
MR at si Dre nakakuha na ng dalawa. Yaba, can you get anything done? Stuck ka na nga dito sa mid-wall. Kaya mo pang patayin itong si Dre. Dre nakataligod. Umingay. Yaba. Maghahanap na lang ng isa pang kill. Guaranteed na kung nasaan si Dre dito. Pero kailangan niya hanapin kung sino ang nasa passage in order to get to. Pero ting, tamang ikot. 2 pieces of information confirmed. Nilayuan na lang
like
dito
this.
si Yaba. Man, actually, honestly, I like this from acceptance. Kasi just plant the C4, magre-retake kami ng 4.
Exactly, no? Play the numbers. And the numbers they are playing, pare, no? So, including the time, no? They're just letting run down, making Yaba do the hard decisions himself. And I feel like one guy should be warranted dito for the push, no? Hayaan nyo sa Dre. Siya naman yung nakakuha ng run na to para sa atin. Why not let him get a highlight for himself, no? And once he finds Yab, left or right na lang siguro yung pagpipilian. Nice gonna find the head. And so far, timing na naman yung usapan dito natin for, I feel like, CBF, no? Malapit. Ace! I feel like we did not notice if it was an ace, but we need the replay 100% sure for that. I feel like it's an ace, but the heck, no? Ace in the hole through the doors, pare. And so far, so good. Pero, ayun na, double checking the vents. You never know when a Vincent might come, pare, dito sa ating vents. They're not going for it. They're going to the doors, pare. They're already through.
Second mid, already taken dito ng CBF. Heck, straight down, Aiden. Finally finishing mo, pero dito na malayan na nandito na si Ting sa kanyang likod. And Ting with his own turnaround. Nakita na nga dito si Yaba. Wooz, quick scope. C4 drop na nasa loob ng CR, pero meron pang tao na nasa loob ng shutter. Luwag, silent, down. Dre gustong habulin si Wooz, pero si Wooz ang mamamatay instead. Dito guys, and it will be a tie game. Acceptance, lumakas bigla sa kanilang depensa. CBF not getting the same opportunities as they did dito sa last half natin.
I feel like CBF said, okay, we're just gonna rush your second mid, no? But Acceptance said, here's the thing. And the thing went boom, pare. He got multiple kills that round. And I feel like these kinds of plays does not work for CBF. They need to think, pare. They really need to think on how they execute this. And that's where you use the individual na. Yes, individual plus the macro teamwork, pare. Kasi hindi na natin nakikita yung CBF na, sabihin na lang natin, sige, dikit-dikit. Pero yung dikit-dikit nila, parang kanya-kanya sila. O, sige, dito ka sa passage, dito ka sa MR, mag-goods ka. Kasi ikaw dyan ka lang, mag-hold ka lang. Very, very stable individually. Pero pag nakita natin yung team play, no, parang sila yung mas magaling on paper. Pero yung teamwork nila, nawawala in transition when the fight happens, no, Sneaky. So, that is the problem right now for CBF. And Acceptance doing a really great job at trying to douse this fire that has been started by CBF. And with this dead hold of a default, pare. This is where things can take a turn for the worse or the better. Depends on which team you're rooting for. Pero tamang ingay na lang.
I think this will be... Ayun nga, they're just gonna wait around
passage
up until may paparating dali dito sa Acceptance. But I really like this kind of Acceptance. So keep discipline, you are in the tie point. You are basically in the lead dito sa game natin. Pero Dre, anything but the lead dito sa LR. Kakain ng HE at kakain ng bala sa kanyang mukha. Aldrin with an entry dito sa LR. Here comes the pressure from the passage players. Pero hindi nila namataanan. Itong si Ting. Pero si Ting nahulog sa site. Yaba getting heck. Ajax nasa loob pa pero Silent tutulungan ng kanyang kakampi dito. Ajax still stuck on DR. Silent getting one but Silent taking down. Ajax with the spray. Wooz na naman nasa 1v1. 30 seconds HC. Pero Wooz pa gumagalaw. Di niya alam kung left, right, or 2F ang nasa loob ng LR. Walang impormasyon nitong si Ajax up until now. Wooz, crowd speaking, pero alam na ni Ajax barag na ang last player dito. Acceptance with 4 rounds in a row dito sa kanilang depensa and it will be a dead round on the 6-7, pare.
Hindi alam ni Wooz kung sa kaliwa, sa kanan, sa likod o sa harapan dadaan dito. ang last member na acceptance para and the dead round. Yes, I think untimely but the perfect way to cut off this spice level na nakita natin from both teams. No? We've already seen them go dead, slow, dead stop dito sa mga rounds natin. Pero I feel like this sequence no is only going to be favoring the side of acceptance pare because of course nasabi ko na dito CBF no individually they are good, chemistry wise a small issue, teamwork different from chemistry but teamwork is not really there no. So I feel like if they just get things together, simplehan nyo lang isang 5-man push luwag. I'm good with that pare. Pero the rest medyo malabo pa yung default nila, parang sila din yung may impact syndrome dito Sneaky.
Yun nga, no? I feel like they're waiting for an opportunity to present itself dito sa mapa na to. And I feel like yung expectations siguro dito ng CBF papasok ng ating sub-base, no? Especially when it comes to that GR side, dito ng acceptance ay, okay, acceptance, sasala sila dito sa mid, sasala sila dito sa MR, sasala sila sa passage. But instead, hindi natin nakita yun, L. They are posted up dito sa LR, meron tao dito sa 3F. Granted, nahulog si Ting kanina, no? But I feel like he did his job well enough naman na hindi sila nakapasok ng B site. And itong si Silent Ajax and etong si Heck are doing a really good job of rotating very quickly para matulungan ang kanilang mga teammates from the CR side. And that kind of helps playing passively no? Kasi may access ka pa dito sa second mid rotation. Pero parang ayaw na yata ibigay second mid dito, L.
I said to them, or rather, we said to them in the broadcast that they should start playing faster and together. This is fast, this is together, but that's only a trade Sneaky. Go for more.
Woo! Yaba! Nakita na nga si Heck dito sa Sigip and this might be an A-side take pero si Aldrin gusto pang sumala dito sa B-side. They can take both sides at the same time. Moves nakita na si Dre and this is the opportunity presenting itself para dito sa CBF and it only took one good tag at the start of the round pare. And Silent will be falling down. CBF creating pure chaos sa second mid at ang acceptance na aning sila pare.
Tawag sa 4-1 setup, no? Or a 3-1-1 setup rather dito from CBF. Just didiretso nila dito yung second mid. And the rest was history from the lurk dito on the MR side pare. I want to see more of that kasi together na sila dun eh. And they went fast, no? So combining the best of both worlds, the individuality where you want to go for that empty play and the togetherness of the macro pare. Kung saan, kung tumumbawan ako, nandiyan ka sa likod ko and they found the trades immediately. Walang nasagot dito yung acceptance, no? As much as they are prepared, when you see the individual versus individual prowess dito or matchup, talagang papaboran mo dito yung CBF and they get the first again dito kay Heck going to the A side.
Oh, Silent with his own 2K spray dito sa luwag. Hindi siya magpapapasok dito. Yaba and Aiden already out of the picture. 3 versus 4. And wala na yatang hope tong A-side, L. I mean, there's already 2 players na nandito sa baba. May nakabantay na ng Vents, may nakabantay na ng CR. And at most they can hope for, oh no, is itong si Wooz. Makakuha dito sa second mid to try and separate yung A at yung B defenses natin. Pero Wooz will try exactly that. Tetsu not too bad on the sniper. Can maybe get something done. Wooz still intending itong position na to. Pero si Ajax, napaka-steady na lang dito sa second mid. Walang galaw-galaw. He was expecting na naandun pa si Wooz. Pero paparating na sila dito sa LR para Dre. Chance of a lifetime to finish this round right here, right now. Pero Aldrin spotting Dre on the 2F side. Dre sa lang dito sa locker room entrance and he will come to regret that. Napadaan niya dito si Aldrin sa lockers. Tetsu. Heady angle. Di gagana para sa kanya sa Soda. 3 versus 1. Ajax spotting him. Bad spot para sa kanyang LR. Holding Aldrin. Backing up into the wrong spot dito sa lockers natin pare. And it will be acceptance. Grabbing the lead dito sa mapa natin.
Grabe no, they already know na yung isang round na yun, yung finish yung second mid as 3, as 4. That's just a one-off thing dito. Acceptance, quick with the adjustments dito sa ating game. And Drado will go on the aggressive. This is a different look from Accept. Played by Aiden. Will be there, no? And as well as Ajax going down. 3v4 disadvantage for Acceptance. This is a hard fight for them, pare.
Silent spraying on down. Tetsu na naman na nahulog dito. Grabe ka na, Silent. For these past 4 or 5 rounds, he has been pure impact para sa kanyang team. Granted, he hasn't had the spotlight sa Acceptance, pero ngayon, siya na mismo kumukuha nun, pare. Pero tignan mo naman, meron na nakapush dito ng gate. Aiden will be getting Ting. Wooz will be getting Dre. That's the flank down para dito sa Acceptance. happened?
Fumbles here and there, no? Yun talaga yung problema natin when your acceptance. Yes, makuha natin yung macro pero time and time again, we are going to circle back dito sa firepower na dala-dala ni CBF. And not too shabby naman yung reaction dito ng acceptance, no? Sadyang nagkaroon lang ng timing. No? Immaculate timing that will never go away dito sa ating mga games. And of course, the better shot, no? I feel like si Silent, he got a good impact yung Woods natin. And so will Heck dito sa round natin. Tetsu goes down. But then again, so far so good dito sa acceptance kapag pinapressure yung Woods nila. So that's one part of the map with a problem solved. However, the second part called MR, there's another problem pare. And if will it be solved, we'll find out right now.
Down over peaks from the side of Aiden. And it was supposed to be the punish dito sa Lockers player. Aiden was getting to 1 versus 3 in this situation. Woods mag-isa na nga lang dito sa ating Lockers side. Napalabas ng kutsilyo dito si Ting. Nagkamali lang ng pitlot. And it will be the 9th para dito sa acceptance. And I feel like gagana sana yun, Elno, if they insta-give itong si Dre at diniretso nilang tong LR. Pero si Dre nakakuha ng isa pa back sila.
Parang parang CBF pa yung nagkaroon ng hesitation dun no? So instead of them getting the get-go kill, like this one round, no? It's the opposite side, but now they have the man advantage. Come back, friends. Come back ba sila from the 8 to 9? Make it an overtime. 1-for-1 trade sneaky, and it's already hectic. Passage about to be threatened, pero may tao doon. Sa events, Heck, nalalampasan na siya. It's Sting!
Ting getting Aiden still, pero Aldrin nakapasok sa loob ng side, and ED! What an entry galing dito kay Aldrin! Sabi ni Aldrin, men, akala nyo tapos na yung laro na to, acceptance, pero nasa first stage pa lang kayo ng grief. Overtime underway dito sa sub-base, and oh my goodness me, CBF, hindi talaga matanggal ang OT sa pangalan nyo, pare.
Yeah, OT and Tetsu. You can say UT. Nah, we can't wordplay ourselves out of that one, pare. But I feel like the gambles, sometimes they win, sometimes they don't. But then again, no, we just need a simple Tetsu overtime. No, it's patented, it's copyrighted. Put that in the CROSSFIRE trademark, pare, because we'll always get some way, somehow, some form CBF with Tetsu an overtime. No? So I feel like may lapses dito yung both teams natin. But even more so sa CBF kaysa sa acceptance. So nakita naman natin yung depensa dito sa GR na acceptance. They know how to punish these aggressive one-offs na ginagawa ng CBF. Ang problema lang kapag hindi nila nakuha yung immediate trade or hindi nila alam kung paano solusyonan yung mga 4-1 split, mga 3-1-1 splits na ginagawa dito ng CBF. They tried going the slow way, did not work for CBF, but they tried going, you know what, let's mix it up a bit, no? Samahan natin ng firepower, tas damihan natin, no? Tas pushin natin yung isang angle. Gumana for a bit, hindi gumana, and then going back to the ball game, pare, it's like a cycle that never really ends. Babalik tayo sa individual prowess, like Aldrin popping off on the last round of regulation. So we go, first round of overtime sneaky, at ang daming tao sa passage. Lalabas ba itong mga to? Or rather dito sa woods?
Check, I think, dito sa gate side. Replay, pare. And of course, it was just a cheeky misdirection. Pero, crap. What can you do about that? That kind of individual play will definitely win you rounds like that. Where the pressure is the most massive is absolutely insane. Pero speaking of pressure, para Yaba, entrant pa lang ng Woods. Ay napapasok, acceptance Ting. Gustong i-trade and they finally get it. Heck getting Tetsu in return. 3 versus 3. A-side di pa naman libre dito. Meron pa tao na nasa outer. Aiden getting tagged up. Woods gets the kill dito kay Dre. C4 down. Ting stuck na ka dito sa luwag. At si Heck hahabol pa sa kanyang kakampi. Pero yung C4 napakapangat na ng spot, pare.
Medyo alanganin to, no? They have the control dito. CBF. So, medyo wraparound tayo sa may CR galing second mid. Problema na din si Aiden. And he kind of spotted the body. He's gonna go down though, sneaky. It's 2v2.
Player on side.
Who's going? Yo!
Yo, Woods, hello? No one say na may tao sa CR, pare. What is going on? Maybe false information after the kill cam, pare. Pero Aldrin in between.
Ipit na siya.
2 players and that's gonna be a freebie para kay Heck. Ano nangyari doon, El? Biglang umakyat din nasa CR, pare.
that was a fumble enough. Siguro inisip nila na pupush dito ng Skip yung dalawang players na acceptance. Pinush nila yung luwag. Ang problema, isa lang nag-push. Naipit tuloy sila, no? They got separated. And even though nag-separated yung players na acceptance, it was the gamble na willing kunin na acceptance because of course, they are on the BL side. Para syempre, hahanap at hahanap ng tas yan. Ma-2v1, ma-1v1, doesn't really matter. No? As long as they find information and information they got. At hindi na nila, yung C4 pare. They just plainly went for the kills. And that is a mistake that you do not need to see from tenured players. You do not see that in tenured teams. But then again, this is a 5 stack. Technically, comeback friends. That's why you're not comeback team, pare. But they will find trade. And more even dito sa ating A site.
Oh, Aiden! Aiden's about to get the second, maybe his third. Para Yaba gets the spray down na nasa loob ng site. Heck na naman na nabuhay dito, but if only Heck being the individual, para this will be quite a difficult task para kumuha ng 1 versus 4, especially sa lahat ng lugar na stuck pa siya, pare, na andito pa sa saluwag, and 10-10 ang ating scoreline. And once again, yung acceptance trying to send it on the east side, pero prepared naman ng CBF this time, pare.
The coin lands heads, the coin lands tails. 50-50, 51-49, I don't really care, pare. Pero that's a 1-win, 1-loss dito for acceptance. Same for CBF, but they're gonna try the plain old Cuerda stick. Gonna get gassed a bit, no? Pero at the same timing na naman, it's always these meetings, pare. It's always the timings, but Ajax! Guess what? Tetsu, not gonna lie, that's on you.
Tetsu, buffering is a thing in this game, pero you might have pressed space a bit too early. Pero Yaba, nakita na nga si Ajax dito sa sitwasyon natin, pare. Pero 4 versus 4 ang ating labanan. And this is where things might get weird, pare, in the mid-round, no? Kasi acceptance at CBF kind of known to try and see if they can poke and prod for a whole lot more dito sa mapa natin. Pero Aldrin, headshot by Trey! What an answer by him! Kasi na pumasok dito ng 2F para magka-space ang kanyang kakampi dito sa side. Pero think nakita dumaan dito sa passage. Sinabol siya dito ni Yaba, pero si Yaba pa mamamatay. Aiden will be getting heck in return. 2 versus 3. Aiden trying to get Dark Room, pero wala pang control. Woods sliding on in. USP, hindi makakaikot kay Silent, and the rifle outweighs the USP. 11-10 para dito sa acceptance, at makukuha pa nila yung isang puntos na lead bago pa tayo mag-side switch.
That was so close, man. Imagine mo yung 5v3 technically dun si acceptance. Pero CBF made it a 1v1 in the end. Going back to the main point, no? Firepower is the end-all be-all dito ng comeback friends. And so far, they are proving us wrong. They are proving us right. Just like the gambles that they tried to do on Vents thrice in different segments of our game, pare. And I feel like this is all right for CBF. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. OT is the only thing that's guaranteed with this team, but acceptance on the opposite hand, no? I feel like they just ramp up, and the perfect term that I always like to use, they're like a diesel engine, no? Get those reps in muna before you get that good pump. Much like Hex workout. Usually when he goes to the gym, pare, he's going to get his reps in talaga muna before he can post, strike a picture. And I think that's the way that acceptance is doing this game. They're going for most rounds possible. They're going to test the limit. But if you test too much, pare, when you fly too close to the sun, pare, be careful because you might get burnt. Aiden, he's gonna get burnt himself. 1 down dito for CBF. Tetsu very low. Wooz as well. And what is the question now dito for acceptance? Will you go towards MR CBF? That's what they're asking. And CBF response is needed. And right now, I have to think about it. That's what they're trying to say dito, Sneaky. Alam nila na merong tao. Pero the indecisiveness, siguro they're just trying to troubleshoot this mid-round pa lang. And they tend to go away from this area, pare. Pero yung C4, no? Nakamark, isang push lang dito nung 3 tao dyan sa MR. Mawawala yung control, pero babalik sila. And this is the key fight that's about to happen, Sneaky.
Scene room, 3 players occupying. Trey, dito nga sa bintana natin, Yaba. Shot in the head. Can't be prepared for that, pare. Pero si Aldrin sasagot ng isa. 2 para dito sa CBF. Pero makuha ba nila si Ajax? Tamang tago lang dito sa lababo. At hindi makita. Barado na pala, pare. Oh my goodness me, Aldrin! Gustong habulin itong si Ajax pero tamang tago lang and Ajax will even still keep on fighting. 3 versus 2 naman. Up until that point, Tetsu nakita na si Heck. A-control needed.
Ala!
Aldrin,
Ala!
headshot kay Silent pero teka lang, Ajax buhay na buhay pa. Low na yung dalawang players natin on the side of CBF pero bakit siya humarap sa kanyang kakampi? Pare, that was the one swing that you could have gotten itong si Aldrin pero yung importante dito, El,
He has the
nakaupo sa
C4.
C4 itong si Ajax and the fact na itong si Tetsu at si Aldrin, life support na sila pare.
Why are you going
In the
away?
next 30 seconds. Hindi, kita yata sa bintana.
I think so.
And he's just checking.
He's
Checking
just
the backside. Checking the backside just in case talaga. Pero 24 seconds left on the shot clock para dito kay Ajax.
He can
and this
isolate
one.
this.
Isolated kills, isolated frags, Aldrin, left, right, and center. Pero nandito na silang dalawa pare. At distracted itong si Ajax. Well played on that 2 versus 1 pare. They could have easily lost that.
And I feel like that's another fumble. A fumble after fumble we're seeing from the teams in overtime, no? Hindi mo nga malalaman kung sino ba talaga yung tunay na nanalo dun sa mga rounds na yun, no? At sino lang yung nagkamali. Pero dito si Heck, hindi siya nagkakamali. And that is the second time guaranteed. Possibly the third, Sneaky. Pero never mind. Damage done kay Yaba. They're gonna take what they can and they just might cash out this round at 12.
Grabe men. Heck letting it ride sa second mid with this DRG. Dalawang kanyang kaharap dito sa woods pero wala pa rin siyang pake. Grabe, what a way to start a round para dito sa acceptance. No, already taking out itong si Tetsu at si Aiden. Yun nga, Aldrin being the problematic guy dito sa side ng CBF. That could be a big, big damage para sa depensa nyo at the moment. Pero sa acceptance, man, they don't want to move forward, pare. Dito lang sila.
Yeah. This is the reverse CBF, pare. We get the picks, now we go silent. We're gonna do what you did to us. Kami naman yung gagawa ng ginawa nyo sa amin, no? The perfect word for this, Sneaky, come up once. And Dre, he can deliver the perfect finishing blow dito for the dagger. But no, he gets daggered right in front of his face. Aldrin with the headshot. And of LR, semi-secured, but they back off just a bit. Pwedeng i-contest dito ng acceptance. But no, different opinions tayo dito. They're gonna go dito sa mid. Babalikan nila yung bukana dito ng MR. This is a possible flank and this could be big pag nahuli si Aldrin, but he goes back. Ajax, this one's on you.
Uy, check.
Oh!
Di chinek. Ay, nagkasalisihan malala. And that's the C4 down para dito sa
One more?
side ng CBF. And Woos is already a known entity dito sa LR. Kanina pa siya matapak-tapak dito, pare. And it will be acceptance approaching ang ating 12th na scoreline, CBF. So far, ang kanilang attempts dito sa ating B-side hasn't been too fruitful para sa kanila, pare. Pero, yun nga sinasabi natin, they only realistically need one pick-off dito sa pan natin in order to get a round started. Pero si natin ay start ng round tong si Tetsu. Pero, what can you do about that, man?
Time and time again naman, no? Like the sample size of this map alone gives us that information na acceptance will win most of these duels sa second mid dyan sa Maywoods. So, lalo na pag pinupush yan ng matindihan dito ng CB. Usually, it's still acceptance that wins, no? Except for maybe 2 rounds na nakuha dito ng CB. Pero the rest, acceptance owns this place and they will test where acceptance is best. And they will win out. That's an open second mid. Sakto si Aldrin. Makakalap isa. They opened up the sights.
Oh, Woos is gonna get Trey as well. Bait lang talaga to, pare. That we are gonna go into not golden round pero gustong mag-golden dito ng CBF. Yaba getting silent. Heck will be getting moves in return. Tetsu. Uy, down as well. Aiden. Hindi ka na ma-quick stop dun, pare. Pero buti na lang. Kumakasa pa ang tropa natin dito and it will be a 12-12 golden round, pare. Bit of a problem now. Bit of a problem lang on the openings there for the side of the game, pare.
This is so gamblers fallacy, Sneaky. You don't know if you're gonna win the next round or not, but why not let it ride? It's a coin flip at the end of the day. It's either the heads or the tails for CBF. And whether you like it or not, sila ang babanggitin natin because they are the ones that usually gamble their rounds away. And what a perfect way to end this, no? Just one round to decide it all dito sa ating sub-base. They're gonna bank it on a possible second mid approach na naman which nakikita mo ngayon sa mapa natin, doubled up by Heck and Ajax. Hindi na nila to papakawalan. But sneaky. Not you.
Oh,
Yaba.
Yes!
He actually did. And he's gonna continue. Pero si Heck,
Do it again.
he's prepared.
Ikutin mo, men.
One more.
Yup! Diba?
He made it!
Sabi ka sa'yo. Shout out to XJ from Q9. The XJ spin never fails.
Never fails, man. He
Uy,
gambled on that one.
Tetsu doon.
This
CR,
one's a
pare,
gamble.
teka lang. Hold on. CBF control dito sa A-side. Heck, none the wiser. Nagtatapok na sa likod mo si Tetsu, pare. Heck down.
Oh, no.
And silent Ajax will be falling like flies on the A-side. Ting, lalaban pa nga dito. Dre as well, just as capable. Pero 35 seconds na lang natitira para dito sa acceptance. Ting spotted na nasa kanan dito ng CR. Halakan na lang nila hanapin dito si Dre. Sikip ang kanilang daanan. Smoke ang kanilang maaamoy. Sikip. Mukhang hindi safe. Tetsu lalabanan na. Spray down dito kay Ting na bulag. Kundi it will be CBF winning the 50-50 dito sa ating golden round. Let it ride, sabi dito ng CBF. And they get to victory dito sa sub-base. What a freaking first map for this tournament. CBF, kayo na naman ang mag-overtime at magbibigay ng napaka-chaotic na laro. But man, absolute cinema, pare. What can you say about that, man?
Absolute
Grabe.
cinema, gang. It's really crucial for CBF to win these overtimes. So, kasi usually they don't win the overtimes. They take us there. But they disappoint. No? But this time around, they finish it off with the true gambler's fallacy. One coin flip of a round, and what a coin flip that push was. No? And who else but Tetsu to get those final kills, no, pare? The man that leads this gambler's fallacy team to get their victory dito. First map pa lang yun, pero napaka-hectic, no? So, I feel like we're in for a ride, no? If they're letting it ride, we're in for the roller coaster talaga. Kasi if they got the map pick dito na acceptance, they're gonna go to their map pick naman, no? Sa Eagle Eye. I feel like this 2-0 can happen, but then again, you cannot discount na tong si acceptance dahil nakita mo naman, no? Pumapalag sila. They took it to a lot of rounds. They took it to 13, no? They took it to golden round. So, hindi natin ma-discount itong kakayanan ni acceptance na mag-evolve as they were evolving throughout the Swiss stage during nung Impact playoffs, and of course dito sa ating group stage sa Master Summer. You're going to see improvements hindi lang through the next day, immediately. Yun yung nakita ko sa kanila, Sneaky, and I feel like I'm going to just allow them to breathe muna, pero tayo din papahinga tayo dahil I feel like okay na dito ang ating mga panel. Pero last thoughts mo, Sneak, I feel like may gusto ko pang sabihin sa akin for CBF.
Yeah, I think CBF is definitely one of the teams of all time na lumabas nga dito sa OQ. No? Hindi pa natin masasabi na the best kasi yun nga, no, sometimes they look the best, sometimes they look maybe they're not. Pero, yun nga, no, pagdating sa mga overtime situations na yun, parang the fact na sobrang dalas na ng CBF sa ganitong moment na yun, na I feel like hindi na sila kinakabahan sa mga ganito na, okay, 12-12, of course, Aldrin has been there countless of times, Yaba knowing itong matches noon, the amount of times that they have played itong overtime natin as well. And of course, big three dito ni Wuz, Tetsu, and itong si Aiden, yun nga, it's kind of their entire core at this point, pare. Pero para sa acceptance, so I would love to give compliments dito kay, we would love to mention itong si Heck, we would love to mention itong si Dre, pare, pero shout out to Ting and Silent, man, for keeping it together on the A side kasi kung wala sila dun, pare, I feel like this would have fallen apart a lot quicker.
Yeah, medyo nagkaroon ng shining moments for them, no? Pero I feel like they're going to have that dito sa Eagle Eye kung gusto nila bumawi. Pagpapahinga muna kami. We're gonna throw it back to our palace to break down the game even for Bipolar and Mochi. Ano masasabi nyo sa ating let it ride fallacy dito sa map number 1?
All I could say, if that could have hurt a lot din dito para kay Team Acceptance. Kasi biro mo, they started off so strong.
Yeah.
Nag-agawan, tug of war in terms of rounds, but unfortunately, everything came crumbling down because of one uncatered angle.
Yeah.
Ang sakit nun, Bipolar. But how about you? Anong thoughts mo doon?
Mochi, to see them so confident na, oy, wait lang, clear yung second feed, clear yung woods. tingnan natin yung luwag, tatlo na katao doon, Mochi. No one was even looking towards CR. Sanay tayo na may tataas doon mismo sa may box, titingin sa may CR, titingin sa may bench, just to get a little bit of coverage. Pero naging sobrang complacent yung acceptance. But yeah, tama ka naman na Mochi, naging dogfight basically yung laban natin dito. That's how I would describe it. Naging parang kids in a sandbox, ano ba yun, yung ganung mindset na parang, uy, maglaban-laban lang itong mga batang to, they will fight and fight every time and see whatever happens. And they literally na nangyari dun sa mapang yun was, let it flow. Let it ride, kumbaga. Tulad nga sinabi ito ni Sneaky Frog. Kasi talagang, kung ano yung mangyari, they will adapt. Kung ano yung pwedeng gawin dito, they will try and open this up. Pero in the mid-roundings, nakikita mo nagsiscramble yung ating mga teams, even on the BS side, even on the GR side for both teams. But nakita rin naman natin dito yung mga improvements nga ng ating acceptance. Yes, they did fall, pero napagana naman nila yung mindset nila na wait lang. We saw what we had been lacking for the very longest time. Yun yung palagi lang tayo naging passive. We don't have the set plays na parang pwede tayo manggulat. Nakita natin may times na, uy, tayo naman gumawa ng aggressive plays. Tayo naman gumawa ng passive plays. Let's try to test the waters. Yes, it happened. Pero yun nga, Moji, no? In the most crucial times ever, dun pa natin nakita na si Heck hindi siya mag-golden second mid. Sumama pa siya sa double hold dun sa may luwag, dun sa may A-side sa may luwag. So that is just pretty insane. But, wow, you know what? Sinasabi nga natin dito, Dre, Silent, and as well as Ting, amazing. But Aldrin on the other side of the map, well, guess what? CBF, sila pa din head-on contact, Mochi. Yun yung napakita ng dalawang teams na.
I can't forget yung isang round dito ni Aldrin na tatlo yung nakuha niya sunod-sunod sa bandang jail area natin is just insane to me, no? Definitely catching a lot of them off guard din dito for team accidents, and I feel like that's already the core thing na kailangan nila i-address dito, no? Kasi biro mo, everything's fluid, everything's so good, they're very flexible, they don't tend to lock themselves just in a specific play that they think that would work in kontra dito, no, sa CBF natin. No, every single round they're often doing something new, especially when it comes to the moment wherein may nagkakandabawasan na, no, nakakaisip sila ng paraan kung paano sila magtatraverse doon sa mapa natin at magkaroon ng mga karagdagang mga casualties na papabor syempre para sa kanila. Sadyang dun lang talaga nagkakaroon ng problema when it comes down to our timings and as well as yung mga angles that we leave a bit too open, no? Parang masyadong welcome itong CBF na pumasok doon sa mga angulo yan. Pero other than that, well played. But again, this map was chosen by Team Acceptance. Yun din yung isa pang nakakadagdag ng asin dun sa sugat, no? Na sila ang pumili ng mapang ito, pero tinalo din sila dito ni CBF dahil sa subtle na kababayaan nila dito sa ilang mga areas natin.
Yeah, it's crazy to see na parang Sub-Base is a map where both of these teams know it pretty well. Acceptance, masaya sila, sinabi natin to, wala map dito pa lang na, uy, Sub-Base na bigay dito sa Acceptance. Nakita naman natin, bumabawi, there was a time na 2 rounds straight. Nakuha dito ng Acceptance 4 rounds straight. Nakaabot sila ng 2-round lead up against CBF. And it looked like confident. Parang, uy, okay lang kahit na nagbabawian dito yung Acceptance, pati CBF kasi parang in control somewhat sa GR side yung Acceptance. But all it takes is 1 round. And doon pa talaga pinakamasakit, no, Moji? Just like you said, maalat, masakit na isipin at hindi masarap sa panlasa ng Acceptance. But there's also something na napansin natin dito, no, Mochi, for these two teams. May hyperfixation ng Acceptance sa B-side. They always push towards passage. They always push towards MR and get that big hold. Kahit na si Adrian is frying on the second floor pagdating dito sa ating B-side. They always want to create space. Kasi nga, these long angles, Mochi, na still somewhat close quarter combats, nagagampanan ng ating mga teams and nagagampanan ng rest of the 4 plays ng Acceptance because heck, what can he do? He just goes for long range angles. And even if he is the last player alive, mataas ang tiwala dito ng Acceptance. Yes, Heck is not known for those like clutch plays. Pero they're willing to take the chance kasi alam nila B-side is always for the taking despite that Aldrin is there. Something else outside of Acceptance. Pag CBF naman, may hyperfixation sa A-side. Kasi they can go for the easy contact sa woods. Yes, pag lumabad ka dyan side, anong gagawin? Mamamatay ka lang. Because Tetsu is there. Yes, Heck is getting that coverage from the second mid. But, what can you do? Makakapasok pa rin sila. Kasi nga, may long range angle na kailangan ditong magkampanan or hindi man lang makuha ng ating players mula sa acceptance. Yes, they're getting kills, but nonetheless, yun na nga rin. Tsaka Vince side noon, Mochi, ito yung parang, this is my first time, not really my first time seeing, pero these two teams, sobrang gamit na gamit yung Vince natin, Mochi. Isipin mo yun.
Ay, totoo yan. Napansin ko na yun.
Isipin mo yun, maliit na lugar na yan mismo yung nagpapaikot ng mga laban natin. And that's crazy to see.
True. Like, imagine, no, just a single hole that changes the entirety sa kung ano ang pwedeng maging outcome ng isang round natin, no? At dapat naman din na mabalikan din natin kung anong meron at kung anong nangyari dito sa ating set 1, no? Just the highlights of how they were able to find every single person down their path and as well as read sa kung saan sila naglalagay o tumatambay, no? Pero, again, for CBF, unshaken, unbothered, unsolid. Ang kanilang galawan talaga dito sa mapa ng subbase natin, definitely showing na, you know what, maaaring alam nyo kung na dito talaga ang yung kalakasan. Pero when it comes to leading ang ating mga teams, doon sila nagkaroon ng kalaban. And nabanggit na rin natin kung sino nga yung mga players natin na talaga
Naglawas ng lagim.
Nag-level up, naglabas ng lagim at talagang nagwala din dito, no? Parang nagmistulang cat and mouse chase at certain occasions, no? Na nangyari na kayo kay Ethan minsan, no? We have Adrin, tapos yun nga sila Silent, Dude. Talaga namang bakbakan kung bakbakan ang nakita natin dito.
Yeah, looking at the stat line now, no, Mochi, a total 25 rounds. Comeback Friends claimed the very last round sa ating pero looking at these two teams, no, Mochi, kung titignan mo pa lang, yes, heavy contact plays ang dalawang teams natin dito. Pero headshots pa lang, Mochi. Yan na mismo yung nagsasabi na istorya ng dalawang teams na to. Talagang bakbakan kung bakbakan. 23 and 15 headshots on Aiden. 20 and 15 on Aldrin. Meanwhile, Dre, sinasabi natin yan kanina pa, he is a headshot machine. But look at Heckman. Overtime kung overtime. Sapat yung kape nung umaga.
Di ba nga naman nagkape, no? Pero ang lala, no? For here, no? Na for Aldrin and as well as kay Eden, 2015 and 23-15. Pero tingnan din natin dito yung performance ni Heck, no? 27 kills.
Wow!
And honestly, with the performance na meron din dito, no, for subbase, I feel like nagagawa ni Heck talagang kanyang trabaho. He just needs a bit more support, no? Kasi parang he's been doing a lot for the team. Pero ito nga ang ating MVP, it is Aiden, no? Na talaga namang nung qualips nagpakitang gilas hanggang ngayon, gusto niya, siya pa rin, no? 1.21 KD and 65% headshot percentage. Around, you know what? We let it off, no? Because when it comes to execution, dun mo talaga siya maaasahan, no? Be the spearhead or of the interactions na meron tayo dito sa mapa ng subbase natin. May it be in GR or BL, the aggression stays the same. And what's scarier is the aggression is
And you'll have to see it na, Mochi, na yung ginawa niya dito sa qualifiers, nare-replicate niya pa rin in the very first matchup pagdating dito sa ating group stage. It feels like hindi fluke yun, Mochi. Nakikita na agad natin, no? Comeback Friends is not just a team that thrives on folks, doesn't just go for aim kills, doesn't just go for headshots, pero they provide dominance for Comeback Friends just because of these teams. Nakita rin naman natin, no, Mochi, na yung thought kanina Woos sa ating head-to-head will be the backup player or will be a client player to be exact, no, para dito. And it worked out, no? Talagang nabigyan ng free reign dito yung apat nating fraggers mula sa Comeback Friends na, uy, sige, diretsohin nyo lang. Alam naman namin makakuha kayo ng kills, no? So, it seems like kahit na ganito yung ating playstyle sa Comeback Friends, it's working. And up against Acceptance, it's looking pretty good.
yes, pretty good indeed. And let's see if it will be better then, no, for the side of Team Acceptance later on as we head on to the map of Eagle Eye. And for now, abangan natin, may bawi kaya ang Team Acceptance? Malalaman natin yan after ng quick short break. Unang araw, unang laban, overtime kaagad.
Yeah.
Ano kaya ang mangyayari for the second one? It is still CBF scoring already one against Team Acceptance. And this time around, hihirit pa nga ba talaga ang Team Acceptance? Or would this be a 2-0 na pabor sa comeback friends? Malalaman natin yan sa mapa ng Eagle Eye.
Let's see, no, Mochi, personally, gusto ko manalo dito yung prediction ko. Pero outside of that, I'm open to 2-0, no? Kasi comeback friends have been somewhat still, thriving off amazingness and parang sheer contact lang talaga yung ginagawa nila. And set plays have been minuscule. Pero this time, Eagle Eye 2.0, dyan natin may kita yan for comeback friends. Yes, they can still go for these aggressive plays, pero kasi Acceptance, they're known to be very much complacent or at least held back pagdating dito sa GR side ng ating Eagle Eye 2.0. What is to be expected here, no? Outside from our points to watch is gonna be the double wielding comeback friends mula dito kay Tetsu na parang may kita natin yung ERG and as well as the HK in his hands because he'll gonna be rotating outside from Hotel and creating chaos outside of that as well. But Acceptance, aasahan natin sila dito na makakuha ng map win just because Heck is amazing in this map.
Of course, syempre hindi lang dapat si Ek, dapat the entire team
Of
starts
course.
integrating their strength dito sa ating laban. Kaya naman, I feel like the arena is set and the battle is about to happen. Kaya tawagan na natin ng ating mga casters, L and Sneaky Frog.
Nagbabalik tayo dito, Sneaky Frog, for map number 2. Ang pangalan Eagle Eye, wala yung Angkara at wala din namang Egul dito sa Eagle Eye natin, pare. Dahil nakita naman natin, no, sa ating mga pinag-usapan na teams also like to play Eagle Eye. Be it so na kahit may problema dito yung Acceptance, may problema din yung CBF dito, no. We're going to find out what exactly those lapses are, no, when we go into the game. Pero ikaw, Sneaky, what is your feel for this one? Are you going to stick with your 2-0 or are you gonna let it ride with the 2-1?
Nah, I'm gonna stick with my 2-0 para as much as I would love to see Acceptance dito sa ating Eagle Eye, no, na mag-flourish dito sa mapa na to. I feel like according to statistics and everything, it really does point in towards the direction nga dito ng CBF, considering meron na silang prior experience pagdating sa mapa na to, not just on the team level, no, considering na multiple times na nilaro yung mapa na to and the fact na they even beat the best of the best, no, pagdating nga dito sa ating scene. And I think yung pinakamalaking Eagle Eye, or at least the biggest achievement that they had on Eagle Eye, that despite the loss, is that very neck and neck result with Team Stallions, para the fact na natalo lang sila doon right because of that BP timing. And with that kind of caliber of Eagle Eye, no, you would be respecting this a lot kung kayo yung nasa side ng Acceptance dito, pare, kasi honestly, the way that they played dito sa kanilang GR side dun sa sub-bases, it was actually fine kasi maganda yung kanilang mga setups dito, maganda they feel very well connected basically pagdating dito sa depensa. Pero ang nangyari lang talaga dito for the side of CBF is they really exploited once again yung kanilang individual plays na nakikita ka natin. Once again, the aggression, maybe the 2-man aggression or the 3-man aggression sa mid para makuha lang si Heck or maybe itong si Dre. So you still have to expect that galing dito sa side ng CBF na kung anumang angle ang hinahawak mo dito, especially if it is aggressive kagaya ng Hotel and or Long, you do expect 3 players to be clearing that at the same time at any moment, para kaya Acceptance, you have to be ready para sumulo ng aggression, but at the same time na hindi kayo masyadong mabagal dapat sa mapa to. Kasi if you are a bit too slow dito sa Eagle Eye, especially considering na kung gaano kabilis yung rotation dito sa GR side, you will definitely drown, para kaya map control, one of the things na kailangan talagang tuunan ng pansin itong Acceptance, pare.
Yeah, and also, matter of fact na that Acceptance, sure, they play Eagle Eye, pero what's the best Eagle Eye team that they have faced? I feel like it's SGJ, no? Siguro yung mga caliber ng Eagle Eye na nakakalaban nila usually, pero we haven't seen them face up against a true Masters team na magaling talaga sa Eagle Eye na talagang pinapocket pick itong mapa natin. And you are going to see that in the form of CBF na sure, hindi nila pinipili itong Eagle Eye madalas. Like, the players individually, no, from their previous teams, they know it. Pero as a team, yung ideas nila nagkakaroon pa ng differentiation, pero they know the end all be all dito sa mapa na to and how to win it totally, no? So I feel like if you are acceptance na number one, may malaking punta sa GR side, yun nga sa sinabi mo, their rotations are a bit erratic, no, na makikita natin when we see the play style na hindi natin sure kung sino ba talaga hawak dito, tama ba yung position ni ganito, ganyan. Makikita natin yung mga mistakes kaagad-agaran, pero once we go into the game, dito sa ating live comms, sakto daw yung bomba dito. Pero we cannot say, no, sakto din yung timing nila.
Yun lang, Tetsu already out of commission sa start ng ating laruan, pare. But Aldrin, with a very quick trade dito kay Silent. And to start things off, we end up on a 4 versus 4 HM4 para kay Aldrin para kunin itong si Trey. Pero si Trey ang kuha sa kanya, Aiden. Not able to trade his veteran teammate dito, pare. Pero naandito naman si Yabak para kunin ang kanyang kakampi. 2 versus 3. Meron pa tao na nasa likod natin. Bypass. Very quick on the flank. Ajax, nakita na si Woos na kanina pa tumatambay dito sa bridge and could have helped his teammate. Pero Yaba, attempting a clutch situation. Nakakuha na siya ng kill dito kay Ting. Separated pa rin itong si Heck at si Ajax. So this is still not a sure shot round para sa side ng Acceptance. CBF still lumayo na lang sila dito, pare. They really do not want to fight anybody directly except for Heck. Alam mo nila na stuck na siya nasa loob ng RS, no? So either dadaan siya ng mid or dito sa baba, pare, or back to the B side. So again, Acceptance with a good first round up.
Pointer is taken dito sa base map natin na kung saan man advantage, alam natin na pwede niya makuha yung bomba. Well, just let him be and just wait for him to arrive in the side side. So, Acceptance with a good opener and the defense is actually working. Ajax with a bit of a manhandling fight dito, no? Will go down to Aiden and no trades whatsoever right now para sa Acceptance. So they're just going to accept the fact that the trade is lost and will be doubled down. The thing goes down and the next one is Heck.
Grabe, Heck getting Yaba, Trey getting Aiden. Nagsasagutan na nga dito ang dalawang teams natin. Pero si Aldrin, headshot dito kay Silent. Trey, 100 pa ang kanyang HP dito. Pero si Trey mapapatap A instead. House A will be the way to go. Pero Tetsu patalon-talon na nga gamit ang kanyang USP. But is he suspicious na merong nakaupo dito sa baba? Who's clearing the other side of the map. And itong si Heck mapapagalaw na rin kasi masyadong open itong B-side natin, and Tetsu will be caught. Information na andito si Dre, and Woos will be getting Heck. And since alam na nila kung nasan si Dre, that's a C4 plant, and ayun nga, 2 choices lang para sa kanya, pare, on this GR side.
Saan kaya siya dadaan? I feel like they already know kung nasan siya.
Yeah, they know.
It's just a matter of doubling down dito para sa CBF. Alvin, kumo-connect na. Nakita nila yung katawan. Shot will not connect. And this is just the closing remarks. Medyo pinatagal lang, pero still, closing remarks will come to an end soon. And the 1-1 will be delivered dito ng comeback friends. And I feel like, sure, we've given props to the 1 round nakuha dito ng Acceptance given na dalawa pa lang yung roster nakita natin. Pero adjustments are there. That's a lot of needs. Thank you, Coach Tanks, no, for teaching these kids how to use the nades. And that's an explosion!
Yun lang, Ajax hitting 3. Immediate reaction after the 4-nade dito sa long. And CBF, honestly, I saw that coming from a mile away, pare. Nakita ko yung 4 na HE na dumaan dito sa long, and the natural reaction to it is to try and see if you can gain your numbers advantage. But instead, sila pa nga ang malalaglag dito, pare. And now the wishes para dito sa side ng CBF. Dapat pala B na lang ang kinuha natin. Then it should have ran back into bypass and into B long to try and see if he can just outnumber kung sino man na mayroon nandoon. A CBF wrong turn sa kanilang mid-take, pare.
Very wrong turn, no? Okay sana yung punish pero parang preparado din dito yung Acceptance, no? Heck with the initial angle dito. He's gonna go inside hotel, pare. Gonna try to reposition. And parang kanina pinapaboran tong angle at nakita si Haba. Oh, wait. Try to just mess with him. Nate's being up-used, no, early in the rounds. And Yaba, where are you looking? Dre will get him. And that's the initial found by Acceptance. Now CBF, what's the move here? There's the move.
That's not the move. Oh, that might be the move, pare. Aldrin getting a headshot dito kay Dre. Remove one of the players dito sa may hotel side natin. Pero bit questionable galing dito kay Yaba, pare, na hinabol niya dito si Hekad. There should be a rhyme and reason kung bakit siya nagka-aggressive. Dito sa hotel side natin, who's getting Ajax. Second scope, not gonna hit this time. Mahirap ito, pare, Ting. Grabe pasayaw-sayaw na ang gamit ang kanyang EBR dito pare. Pero Silent will be getting woos finally from the doghouse side. Aldrin, tumalang HK pero tumama naman. Like on the hotel position at tamang finisher na lang. The guy was already low in the first place pare. Pero CBF starting to lose a bit of control dito sa kanilang BL side pare. And they're forcing a lot of things that should not be forced pare.
Parang individual Snake, judgment na kailangan natin i-punish to si Hek kasi nagpo-push na siya forward. He's already gotten control dito sa hotel natin, no? And I feel like that is a mistake, no? Again, CBF, kung gusto yung manalo, play together, play faster, play the tempo. You know you have the aim. But I don't see the body, pare. Like, it's a body. I only see one guy. Maybe two on a good day, pero they're not exactly body-body. So they're keeping their social distancing, pare. And look at this. Tingnan mo yung full spread nila sa mapa. Everyone's exploring. I don't like this one bit, pare. They're just getting themselves blown apart and they lost control of the mid-map. 2-on-2 dito sa may A side at B side. Hotel not taken and pwede pa push forward but lose the fade.
Grabe, getting big. Heck finally getting Yama in return. Pero testo na naman ang mahuhuli dito ni Silent. Who's Ajax? Oh, the sudden there is down. What is happening dito sa Eagle Eye? Pare, nagpalitan lang ng pangalan dito. Silent will be getting woos. Aldrin, they probably don't know where he is dito sa mapa pare with all the information flying across the board kung A, B, or tower. Pero second mid ang pakay dito ni Aldrin. Hindi. Mapapabalik siya dito ng bypass. Silent with a very good angle through those double doors. Pero tignan mo naman ang kanasaan ng C4. Doon magsisimula at doon pupulutin sa 1 minuto. Ayan. Napulot na ang C4 na feel like one more kill pa pare. Isa pang kill pa.
He can do one better, pare. He can do two. But the question is not can he, will he, no? Will he do 2 kills? Will he get 2 kills? That's the question. Next na siya dito sa mid. Right at the door. Versailles right here. Going down, wait!
Oh! You love it, jumping! Not like this! Tama yung sinabi mo, El. My fault, Aldrin. Parang I might have underestimated your capabilities. Para El, you did say he could get 2 here. And that he did. Aldrin with a 2K of a lifetime and napatime out dito yung CBF. I think LG even he's surprised at this point on what is happening dito sa mapa natin. Pero I feel like CBF, they do need a bit of a reset ongoing dito pare kasi for the past few rounds na nakapanalo sa kanila dito is the 1v1s, the 2 versus 2s. That's not the definite way to win CROSSFIRE pare.
Parang yung call nga dito ni Tetsu, no? If I feel like we had the comms, KKB muna tayo. Kasi nakita mo yung full map spread default nila. Everyone had different angles. May body pero hindi magkakadikit. So any immediate trade is not possible. And ang pinawala tumumbay mid player nila. So what is there to do for the side of CBF but to pray for a miracle and bang? Snap your fingers, no, and Aldrin will grant your wish. He got a miracle. He could, he would, and he will, no? So, siguro, we can expect maybe 2 more rounds like that to come out from the firepower dito ng CBF. Pero, there has to be a limit, Sneaky, no? Dapat may limitasyon lang yung ganitong klaseng galawan ng CBF, and acceptance in the first place should not have allowed that to happen. Right? Sure, individual prowess, yada, mas makati sila tumutok. Pero, when you have the numbers, pare, 2 is greater than 1, right? But, somehow, when it's CBF and with these players, that just goes out the window and you can just imagine that experience pushing through the line just to get the round wins. Pero, acceptance, I feel like the timeout ng CBF, para sa kanila yun. And they must use this timeout to their better purpose dahil kung ganito yung nakukuhang rounds ng CBF, well, that just means that the game or rather the map is for your taking. You just have to play a bit more cleanly because you're already playing clean. We just need the extra word, no? The ER or the IEST. Or EST rather.
I feel like ito yung attempt dito ng ating comeback and friends. Kasi di ba nakasanayan natin galing sa acceptance na yun nga, heavy setups, it will be players connected as much as possible. I think this is them trying to sow as much chaos as possible dito sa mapa natin para masira yung foundation nila pare, para maguluhan itong acceptance sa atin. But it seems like acceptance, they're gonna keep their wits about them, no? Hindi nila lalaroin ang laro dito ng CPF, kundi lalaroin lang nila ang laro ng acceptance. So, with a 1-point lead pare, what can Acceptance do? Pretty passive defense galing sa kanila as Dre is now sitting far back dito sa B-site. Hindi na siya nakaupo sa hotel. And itong si Heck nasa second win.
Alright. Knowing Tetsu is gonna gamble this and he's gonna push, pero which way will he go? Hindi natin alam. Baka nandito na siya exactly on that entrance paris ng bypass na. Oh, Heck! Shots good! What? That's Heck, man. You're gonna expect that, pero yep, BR dito will be close. I don't know. Wait. Hold up.
B-hit. Like a B-hit yata para dito sa side ng CPF. Ajax, nakita na nga si Yaba. Woos will be taken down, pero Aiden chance to bring it back, pero mamamatay siya dito kay Ajax pare. CBF, I think it's too much at the same time, man. It's too much at the same time. I mean, nakuha nila yung control dito sa hotel, and I feel like they were kind of expecting more of a weaker B defense pare, pero hindi yun yung nahanap nila.
They had it might be weaker, but it's not weak per se. No? They just played a bit weaker, and I feel like that little groan of hope that you had when they almost got that kill. I mean, to be fair, it's CBF. They could, but will they? Diba? Yun yung tanong natin lagi dito sa CBF. Kaya nila. Pero magagawa ba nila, diba? Tetsu, once again, nandito na kagad siya sa angatan, no? At kung hindi aware dito, si Ajax, well, that's 2 free kills, lalo na kasama siya sa Silent.
Pop flash?
And hindi na tinitin na yung angle. Nakatingin sa Silent pero mahirap to. Pare sila ng immediate angle pang gagawin. So, Tetsu tinatawag yung mga kaibigan niya, takot sa flash.
Alam
Pero
kaya
higit lang sa sneaky.
yung
They know.
pop flash na bumabenga dun sa bubong?
Yung,
Nakita ko lang yung recently sa KZ game natin, and that's how
parang
KZ did
dadaples.
win. Oo, dadaples dito sa bubong pare at pagpapop dito sa CBF. This would be perfect for that kind of situation, no? Kasi tignan mo kung nasa ng posisyon si Dre, pero si Dre hindi na yata magpipick. Instead, si Tetsu na ang unang sasala dito sa B-side. Silent, unang mamamatay. Ajax with the spray down. Headshot dito kay Tetsu. Ang daming tao na nasa kanyang screen, pero patay lahat dito kay Ajax. Yaba! Nagtaka na lang, nasa na napunta yung kakampi ko. Bakit pinatay mo lahat, Ajax? Yaba, the only one left alive. Ayun lang. Natapakan pa yung kanyang ulo doon, pero okay lang yan. Yaba will be trying to get this one. Trying to get this clutch, pero napakabilis na ng USP ni Heck. Ajax, ang pader ng B-side, pare.
Bar for bar, no? Ajax with the reject dito sa B-side natin, pare. And I kind of felt like they knew, no? But that is an angle that Uz definitely knows. Heck, tutumba. Malafervid versus STS, no? But the opposite side one, that is to mean na si Lance yung nanalo na dahil si KLB na sa GR side nung nag-peak. It peaked na the opposite angle, pero I feel like the ball door sa chat natin, alam yun. Kaka-play lang natin sa playoffs sa spring, pero never mind that, pupush pa rin dito ang CBF. And it worked one time, might as well do it again without Ajax and especially without Heck to play. What?
Shot galing dito kay Dre, and it's right through the smoke. Ogden and Tins already out of si Aiden. Sasala naman dito kay Ting, finally getting the headshot, and look at the amount of damage na nakukuha dito ng Acceptance. Silent, low HP already due to that mid push. Yaba making sure that EBR is fully used, but he finally gets wall banked out of here. Ajax so far, so good para sa kanya pare, pero Aiden nakita na kasi Silent. Ajax wanting to see if he can get another angle dito sa mga 8 players natin, pero Dre spotted, Dre tapped out. Ajax na lang natitira, 6-1 so far, pero napakaganda na kanyang laruan dito sa ating mapa. Aiden, patan ba? Yun lang, the 60 Hz swing, but the 60 Hz turnaround para dito kay Boss Ajax, pero buti na lang na andun si Woos. Oh my goodness, what is happening? This game is not normal pa.
You can classify this as a trailer, pare. This is a trailer right here. Dahil nagkagulatan lang sila eh. And again, that round, it's not macro. It's individual firepower shining for CBF, pare. Hindi pa ka kumukonekta si Woos, pero si Aiden pumupush na, pare. So, I don't know what they were trying to do. Maybe just get the kills, pero sure you can get the kills, pero ow! Ang laka!
Aiden will be going down dito sa A-site natin, pare. Pero tignan mo yung B-site natin. Kalat na yung mga miyembro ng CBF. Pero kailangan nila na map control. Kailangan nila na map control. Hindi sila pwedeng nakaupo lang dito sa B-site.
Walang ikot.
Lipat na dito ang mga miyembro ng Acceptance. Aldrin nakapasok ng hotel. 35 seconds para makapasok. at para makakuha ng napakagandang 3-point lead para sa ating second half. Acceptance will be trying to go for hotel control thing right around the corner. Woods will be taken down. Good spray down, pero Aldrin makakalis pa. Decides to go back para dito kay Heck, pero namatay na ang buong miyembro, ang buong angkan ng CBF. Silent, not defusing. 10 seconds left. Aldrin will be peaked. Aldrin will be dead dito sa may main natin. And Silent will be getting the defuse. Acceptance with a retake of a lifetime, pare. 6-3.
Ang lakas ng
Eagle Eyes
disruption
killing
dito. Ang lakas ng disruption nila, Sneaks, no, on both sides and even towards sa atin. Hindi natin sure nagkamali ba ng talon dun si Aiden kaya siya naipit. Pero at that exact moment, no, the rest of his friends, no, in comeback friends, just went to the B side. They had the perfect opportunity to close out that round. Ang problema lang, no, hindi nila in-expect na yung ikot dito ng Acceptance will take that long. So siguro nagulat din dito sila Aldrin dun sa may hotel dahil wait, hindi pa sila dumadating, no? They were prepared for like 30 minutes ago. Pero ngayon na sila dumating and I think that caught them off guard a bit even though they were prepared, no? So at the end of it, may pumasok dito sa BR, may pumasok din sa ating site B. And I feel like hindi na nila alam, masyado silang lumayo sa site, no? Konti lang yung naiwang tao dun sa site mismo. And no one was left to protect the bomb once the retake happened for Acceptance. So Acceptance showing us teamwork, no? Teamwork makes the dream work. They made their plays, they made their defaults work, pare. Sure, heroic rounds, again, masasabi natin dito sa comeback friends, pero that's it. Hanggang dun lang, individual is at the top. Pero come on, man, you cannot really do that against Acceptance who took you to a golden round dito sa base. And now with the lead, we're going to see, I would assume, the better side dito ng Acceptance because usually their worst side is the GR side. Yung rotation nila yung medyo mga palya-palya. And at the same time, CBF, Tetsu, expect to see him everywhere. No, I expect to see him everywhere.
Yeah, I feel like this is where the individuals can shine a lot brighter. Para nga dito sa CBF, considering na Eagle Eye is more about the two-man play dito sa A or dito sa hotel natin, and possibly some good covers on the mid side. I'm just hoping and praying that CBF does not send it sa towers around number 1, para kasi that would be cause for concern dito sa mapa natin para sa kanila. Pero I feel like CBF, this is where the double snipers can finally be pulled down. Tetsu will be everywhere and anywhere kung saan man may butas ang depensa dito ng CBF, and of course Woos will do boostings dito sa ating sites. Pero I feel like this is gonna be a whole responsibility para dito kay Heck, especially kasi he is having to be responsible about two massively good offers dito sa hotel, and the fact na kailangan nyo pa lumipat sa A side just to confirm kung nasan si Woos or kung nasan si Tetsu dun sa moment na yun, it's gonna be a lot more work para sa kanya, pare, and that is where yung mga ibang members ng Acceptance really have to step up kasi Heck's about to get busy, pare.
Yeah, exactly. If he can deal with one, he needs to deal with another. What if hindi pa talaga nag-activate dito yung mga kasama yan? What if Ting does not go pare? What if he does not activate instantly? What if si Silent goes silent talaga, no? That is something na siguro minimal chance of happening because this is technically the better side. But again, no, that minimal chance pwede mag-increase exponentially dahil alam naman natin yung deadliness dito ng CBF because of course they brought Stallions to the brink dito. They almost took Stallions talaga, pero that's the keyword, almost, di ba? Hanggang dun lang.
Last round kasi talaga din.
Yeah. That's what you get for trying to that's what you get for flipping the coin, pare. But I think this time
talaga, man, on that last round, pero
I think this time you can't na. You want a clean 2-0 because if you're going to flip the coin all throughout the group stage, you might not even make it to the playoffs, man. You need to head shit, man.
Exactly. Ay, nako, CBF. Lots of stuff can happen dito sa GR side, and a lot of stuff did happen dito sa kanilang BL side, pare. It was half of the time, it was just pure fist fighting dito sa mid. Yun nga, baka may LB strike na mangyayari dito, pare. And Aiden is beefing with whoever is existing dito sa A side natin, pare. And it has worked for about 3 rounds dito sa ating mapa, but once again, Acceptance now starting to get more into their game dito sa ating Eagle Eye 2.0, and with all the individuals that have to hitting dito sa mapa natin. Even then, nadagdagan pa yun para si Ajax biglang sumali dito sa firepower battle natin, and he is having a hell of a time dito sa ating Eagle Eye 2.0. We're just kaya nga onting dead round lang, we're just fixing stuff behind the scenes, pero ayun nga, hindi naman nababawasan yung init ng series na to, pare.
DR check count or DR counter, no? DR number 2 for today, and hopefully no more. No? Let this be the end of the dead rounds. Pero going back to the topic, Sneaky, I feel like acceptance, if they can just make the first move dito sa first round natin, make that call to just strike and find out agad yung isang default or isang execute na okay, alam na namin kung paano kayo mag-default sa GR nyo. I think that solves everything, even the swaps, no? The swaps dito ni Tetsu might be a bit problematic, especially kung siya yung magiging erratic dito in terms of where he positions. And I think that is the thing that Heck will try to solve first and foremost. No? Kasi alam niya na siya dapat yung makakapitas. If hindi niya nakuha yung pitas, you're going to have to rely on your snipers, which have to either confess dito sa LA na okay, may angle sa kaliwa, sa kanan, may angatan pa tayong kailangan problemahin, or hotel na you never know kung may tao behind the bar na nakayuko, or may tao dun sa may babaan na hindi natin din sure kung naka-ready lang, no? Yun yung pinaka-problema natin dito for acceptance is if they get their first pick, good. Everything is well-rounded, everything can go smooth. But if they don't, no, if sila pa nga yung mabawasan dito ng isa o dalawa, I feel like hindi ito kasing dali ng subbase na, okay, group up na tayo, let's go. Hindi siya kasing close combat kasi hindi siya close space yung Eagle Eye, no? So, may hirapan silang mag-execute ng tatluhan lang. So, rely more on that initial pick, rely more on that body-body system na, to be fair, hindi natin nakita halos dito sa CBF, no? So, use what they're not using. Maybe that's the key to victory, but again, it's always gonna come back to where is that +1 Tetsu gonna go, no? And that is the gamble that opposite naman, acceptance is going to try and take.
Yeah, I feel like Acceptance is also willing to kind of just sit out the first few minutes ng round natin, no? And if kayo yung CPF dito, there is kind of like breakpoints pagdating sa timer natin na, for example, 2 minutes or 1 minute and 30, mag-check na si Aldrin dito sa baba ng hotel, or titignan niya if he can get a kill dito sa BP, no? And I feel like Acceptance will be trying to get those bad habits. Pero speaking of bad habits, para hindi yan bad habit kung gagana para kay Tetsu, will not be getting the second one. Ayaw mag-back, pre. God damn, he's still fighting.
I mean, that's the confidence now. He already got the one. Why not push his winnings? But he lost it all on that one gamble of a pick. Silent will shut him up. 4v4 tayo. Technically a stalemate, but you have to look at Dre, pare. Pag nag-activate siya, no, yung top dalawang miyembro dito, di sa A-site natin, they're going to be cut off. Babalik dito si Aiden to check out what's going on sa mid. But it's Aldrin that we have to watch.
Yeah, that's not a good swing by Aldrin, pare. And ito yung sinasabi ko dito, this is yung attempt ng acceptance para i-punish yung bad habits nga dito ng CBF team. Pero Yaba. Uy! Tama? Who's gonna spot? Two! Ayun ang Ayaba seeing a moving shadow within that scope, pare. Nakita niyang bakit may nakaupo dito na pangalan ay Dre, and it will end up on a 3 versus 3. Now, this is where the mid-rounding cooking can start dito. Saan nga papunta itong acceptance, and can they get Aiden?
That's a very easy question when you spot them, Snake. So the rotations will come down dito CBF. Aiden will go down. Ngayon, they have to work the 2v3. But look at where Yaba is down.
Reckless.
1v3 right now. And yeah, individuality be damned here. Because CBF, they're gonna live and die. Not by the sword, but alone. But Wooz, he can do it alone. Wait.
Heck has to peek. Kailangan si Heck mag-peek dito, pare.
Oh,
Flash is
nice
here.
flash.
Wooz. Tamang jump peek ulit pabalik. Ting will be dying, pero Heck will be hitting. 7 and 3 para dito sa Acceptance. A sigh of relief that they are not on a highlight reel this time on the side of CBF. And Acceptance, yun na nga, pare. First round on the board para sa kanila PL side. He will go with better than expected para sa kanila.
Oh, wait, Tetsu again. He's gonna try to challenge. Shay pa nga yung matatag dito, and they're gonna push forward. Alam nila na 8-pit na siya, pero Tetsu with the first shot. They're gonna continue. They're not stopping dito, Sneaky. And they have noticed Model.
Ooh, Trey was looking for Yaba too in that situation, but Yaba will be getting Trey. But speaking of getting, Heck and Ting will be getting this B side. 3 versus 3 na naman ang sitwasyon natin dito. Yaba, mapapapick ng RS and mapapapatay dito. Ting, who has been absolutely wildin' on the CBR, getting woos as well. Pero si Aiden, back on enemy lines, headshot on silent. Low na yung dalawang players natin na nasa acceptance USP. Could be of big effect. Actually messed up his staff walk midway, no? So may onting information kung saan siya magagaling. Through that mid side, Aiden, full turnaround para sa kanya. Will be going on the A side of the map. And if he can get Heck in this position, maganda to pare. Pero si Ting. Is it a mad Ting or is it a beautiful one? Heck, oy, maling side tinitignan mo pre. Pero nagkamali na nga itong si Heck na tumingin ng tower. Pero si Ting, the insurance policy claimed. And acceptance, mukhang dos na lang men. Eagle eye unless a miracle comeback happens here. Pare, pakiramdam ko kasi they do have the game.
I feel like this gambling strategy dito ni Tetsu where he just keeps on picking dito sa may LB natin, hindi gumagana, no? 100% of the time, no? He gets a pick but he also loses his life. And that just gives the opportunity dito para sa acceptance na makapasok ng hotel, work their default around sa may BR, sa may EB, and just let the A side be passive, no? Si Dre, okay lang siya mag-isa dyan. Heck will try to just round up his crew, pare. Sure, minsan hindi siya yung nakakuha ng first kill dito with the sniper, but it doesn't really matter kasi last 2 rounds siya yung naging insurance policy. And I feel like that is better than Tetsu getting the first pick because Heck, masterminding this BL side will now be left alone versus 3, possibly. Walang kumakagat sa kanya. And sa bonus ko makakaisa pa siya pero he just bounces out.
Yeah, I feel like himself bit of a pick yun pero siyempre mamamatay sa sitwasyon na yun. So sniperless na nga itong acceptance natin. Aiden will be getting Ajax Yaba fully blinded, catching silence. Ting, who has been spraying and praying dito kay Woos, finally taken down ni Aiden. Dre, the last one left alive. And ano pa magagawa niya dito para crawling inside of the smoke, and that will be a CBF round. Pero that was just off of pure timing, in all honesty. No, nakuha si Heck dito sa bypass and nagkagulo na lang dito sa A-side, pare.
Yeah, another miracle, no? Not by the players of CBF, by just the happenstance dito sa game natin. Different call approach dito ngayon, no? 4-1 immediately, pero back into the 5-0 dito sa LB natin. Malapit na sila mag-EV under the bridge dito, but there's no water. And no water indeed for Alden. It's about to get hot. He might get thirsty and he's just gonna go down, drenched. 2 kills, going inside the 80. And there's no grades.
Really like this galing sa acceptance, pare. And it really is stressing out the CBF defense who's trying to individually get picks sa mapa natin. Pero Yaba will be getting Trey. 35 seconds. Not much time to operate, pero si Silent mo, wala na ng buhay. 2 versus 2. Ting spotted na nasa loob ng cable car, pero merong bulletproof glass na nakaharang sa kanya dito. Cable car, damage. Ting dead. Last one left alive na andito sa rampa. Heck has to hit both shots. Quick scope kay Woods. USP, not enough up against Yaba. CBF hanging on by a thread dito sa mapa natin, pare. But acceptance, I can see the attempts, man. Yung 5-man peaks versus the individuals. Just like what Polo said, individual versus team play, and you can see the team play. It does work from time to time, pare, but it only takes one timing for CBF to turn this around, pare.
And what is the timing right now for CBF? So far, wala pa sila mahanap. It's acceptance with a different strategy, you know? Shifting to the other side of the map, going towards LA. Pero so far, this is what I don't like. Kanina, they were really open to challenging yung mga angles ni Tetsu nung naka-sniper pa siya, pare. Pero this time around, once they get the space, they're gonna go!
Ooh, si Aiden will be getting Ray. Ajax will be getting Yaba in return. Nagkakagulod ng sa A-side once again, Ting. Another early peek para sa kanya, but Woods gets taken down on top. Tetsu na lang natitira. And it will be Towers hitting silent somehow. And Ting is low as well. Kita yung kanyang batok dito, pare. Tetsu will be getting Ting. Heck versus Tetsu. Captain versus captain. Snipers on rifles dito sa ating round. In a minute and 22, plenty of time to operate. Plenty of time to assimilate dito sa A-side. Pero si Tetsu harap-harapan. Heck spraying the body down, and it will be acceptance map point.
Heck flexing on him, pare. And the match point to bring this map to port, pare. It could be now, it could be later. Even be a comeback with the friends. Pero kailangan nila patunayan yung pangalan nila ngayon. Default working for acceptance, pare. And once they get the first shot, they go. And Hex down, Dre with the trade. They're gonna go now.
Yaba, headshot for him! Oh my goodness, I thought he was gonna get instant-traded, pare, pero hindi pala. Silent will be getting aided, pero Yaba, steadfast dito sa A-site natin, nakatatlo na. Aidan na nga dito ni Silent, 42 HP and a dream inside of this house, and Aldrin already on the backside. Silent out in the open, heads up na yan para sa kanya. And 6, CPF once again, kapit patalim dito sa mapa ng Eagle Eye.
Unti-unti lang, no? 3 more rounds, pare, para makapit ulit yung ninanay sila overtime. I think they're just trying to achieve overtime at this point, no? They're just getting the deficit. Basta na i-overtime natin, then win it overtime. That's the real comeback with the friends, pare. Default ngayon ng acceptance, medyo nagkakalituhan na sila. They don't know if they're gonna test B, they don't know if they're gonna test dito sa LA. So maybe, tabay muna tayo sa may tower. Door mid siguro yung paraan. Pero look at that rotation from CBF, para they already have one dito. Nakatanim sa ating mid doors. Yaba sa may metal. Oh, na-check! Dead!
Oh no, it's gone awry para dito sa CBF. Heck getting woos as well. Heck, stuck na nga sa loob ng tower. Tetsu getting silent. Aiden getting tray in return. Pero Aiden, kailangan mo makuha dito si Heck. Pero si Tetsu na lang sasala sa kanya. Runs right in front of his crosshairs. Aiden still getting the kill on Ajax. 1 HP and a dream, but all it matters is a headshot gamit ang kanyang 417. It's either the third map or another round para dito sa CBF. Heck, rifle na naman. EBR of all rifles na makuha na dito. The guarantees are at an all-time high for the captain of acceptance. Pero Aiden, 2 nades to distract possibly. Malayo-layo pa sila dito, pare.
Parang feeling ko dito malalaman kagad ni kung saan manggagaling dito si Aiden. He can't possibly use these utils that he has, pero heck, just guaranteeing na the close angles dito sa may car will be clear, will go tap in the lucky numbers, and we are in a 1v1 sneaky.
Yun nga, wrong guess for Aiden on which site na kailangan pasukin dito. A will be fully cleared. Flash from second mid, and that is gonna be flying from the mid side. So I think na tempohan nga dito ni Heck kung saan nga nanggaling yun, and it will be acceptance taking Eagle Eye 2.0 dito sa ating series. And what a adjustment para sa kanila dito, El. In all honesty, I feel like basta papunish na nila individual mistakes na nagagawa nga dito ng CBF, and at the same time, ginagamit nila yung superior numbers nila dito sa BL side. Nagpa 5-man clear sila sa hotel, pare, just to get. But it's all well worth it, pare, kasi nagagawa naman nila ng paraan to, men.
Yeah, as much as maganda yung mga tanawin dito at mukhang malawak ng Eagle Eye, remember guys that this map is really, really small. Right? The rotations are so fast that the angles for BL and GR towards A and B is like 5 seconds away if you jump right across, pare. So, I feel like that is the thing that acceptance made sure of. The rotations were there. Not even just the rotations, the holds, no? Na hindi na kailangan ng rotations. They got that on the GR side. Sure, we touted them as having the weaker GR side, but once they got the rounds and once we saw CBF going back to what they know best, which is shooting alone, nakita na natin na trajectory was going to the side of acceptance. And when we swap the sides, when BL naman dito ang acceptance, nakita natin na Tetsu, he just can't gamble the sniper dito sa ating EB, no, sa ating LB. He cannot really do that even if he gets the picks, kasi he's gonna try for more. Not gonna lie, he's always gonna try for more, and that gamble of the 50-50 for the 4v4 is not really the best thing that he can do, especially knowing na pwede siyang sagasaan bigla dito ng mga players na acceptance. And acceptance, props to them, no? And especially to Heck, who I feel is gonna be the MVP again with his performance. Ang ganda ng calling niya. He knows when to push, he knows when to pull, he knows when to go all in. And that is the true mentality dito, acceptance. I feel like if Subbase was the taste tester dito kung ano yung ginagawa ng CBF, then this was the main course for acceptance to finish the meal that is CBF cleanly in a fashion that I feel like kahit sila hindi nila in-expect.
Yeah, in all honesty, no, I feel like it is a lot of individuals as well stepping up para dito sa acceptance. I feel like the slight uptick no of fragging galing dito kay Ting at kay Ajax really helped dito sa kanilang first half para, and Ajax was holding it down dito sa B-side. He was making those CBF players suffer every time na dadaanan nila yung kanyang crosshair, and also Ting finding multiple opportunities dito sa BL side nila. Multiple times nakita ko na nakakakuha siya ng backline flank dito. At times he's also joining yung mga players natin for that 5-man push, and I feel like it is very important for players like Ting to kind of step up to the plate kasi pagdating nga sa 1-to-1 firepower natin, it is pretty much equal, but a slight overperformance galing nga dito sa acceptance will definitely net you a map win. And grabe yung nila, grabe yung composure nila kumbaga dito sa mapa natin. It was a very chaotic first half, and I feel like just like what I said, that is the CBF attempt to disrupt yung foundation. Gusto nila mawala yung stability nila dito pare, pero hindi stable dito yung acceptance pare.
Parang sa kakatry nila na mag-disrupt dito ng flow ng ating acceptance, sila mismo yung nasiraan ng flow. Pero yung flow natin, Sneaky, hindi masisira yan, especially this transition to our panelists, Bipolar and Moshibella, how's your flow going over there, mga kaibigan? How was Eagle Eye for you guys?
Well, for us specifically, very surprising because I actually expected this for this to be a bit more closer than what we had dito sa ating resulta. Pero again, we can't be mad because Team Acceptance just showed na meron pa silang ibubuga.
I mean, hindi given a fact naman na dito na parang Acceptance knows how to play Eagle Eye 2.0. But up against CBF, yun yung testing point kasi. And now, looking at it, talagang sobrang dominated na from the GR side to the BL side. Alam mo na Acceptance had full control despite them losing like crucial moments dito sa ating mapang ito. But ito, simple thought lang para sa ating manonood ngayon and for everybody that's na nagsusubaybay ngayon sa CrossFIRE Philippines and looking at comeback friends. Coming from Tetsu himself, ang stat line ngayon and the end all be all is always protect Aiden and Aldrin. And I can basically say with my analysis sa ating game number 2 na parang 60% of the team's power ay magmumula doon. And once one of those players gets out, well, the possibility of winning those rounds gets diminished every time. Pag nawala yung dalawang yon, you're left with a 40% na palaging dehado kahit na 1v2 pa yan. At yun yung nakita natin dito sa ating mga matches in Eagle Eye 2.0 that despite a 2v2, as long as Aiden and Aldrin is not there, Acceptance can easily outmaneuver these players mula sa side ng comeback friends. And with these set plays, Mochi, nakikita mo naman, Acceptance not just on the GR side but on the BL side, they played very calculated. Still a little bit slow. Tulad nga sinabi ni Sneaky Frog kanina sa ating caster desk na parang they take 1 minute or at least like 45 seconds in the timer in the start of the BL side to get a little bit of information. Kasi aasahan mo, comeback and friends will give you information by sheerly going in front of your face. And if they fall down, well, that's an advantage for Acceptance. If they don't, okay lang sa Acceptance kasi they're already just waiting. They're just looking for information. At this point, ito yun lang parang na-shutdown dito si Aldred. Aiden was frying. But hindi sapat yun kasi nga yung 60% ng buong comeback friends ay kasama si Aldred doon. Kailangan gumana ng dalawang players. But big ups to Tetsu, man. Gumana sila doon. But for Acceptance, everybody stepped up.
And I'm actually dying to ask this, Bipolar, Nakita na natin na ito na nga siguro yung weakness ng CBF that as long as Team Acceptance removes two of those players na binanggit mo kanina is they already get that round win. Do you think it is a map thing or is it because that they finally found this weakness, na very weakness na binanggit mo?
I feel like there's a weakness already, Mochi, because for a team to be reliant, not just, there's a team right now, I won't call them out, pero there's a team right now that is reliant on one player. But for them to rely on two players and somehow still, we know na capable star players ng mga buong roster ng
Yes.
comeback friends, na parang, how are they always with that mindset? At nakita natin yun, Mochi. Kasi, Hotel was always so free nung nasa BL side na dito. Yung players natin for Acceptance. Since nakuha dito si Aldrin, since Heck is still, if Heck does die, okay lang. Buhay pa yung 4 attackers dito, Mochi, ng Acceptance. And what can they do? Do what Comeback Friends is doing. Overwhelm them, but this time, a little bit of twist. with power and with numbers. Doon natatalo kasi palaging 1-1 hold or 2-1 hold dito ang buong Comeback Friends.
Yeah, and I'm also pretty scared then, no, given the fact that they have this codependence with two of their really strong players, which is, you know what, arguably, valid naman talaga, no, kung ganun kalaki yung impact na ibibigay niya or yung pillar dito kung how it holds the entirety of the foundation of this particular team, which is itong kay Comeback Friends. Pero at the same time, as you have mentioned, hindi talaga pwede na mahayaan nila itong gantong bagay. Kasi kung kanina nakita natin na medyo nahihirapan si Heck, actually, hindi naman halata with the KD na meron siya on the map of sub-base. It's just that there are some areas na papakawalan, which is talagang na i-address nila dito sa mapa ng Eagle Eye natin. And I'm very glad that they've been able to opt and resolve that very problem that they have earlier on. Kasi talagang nagpakita dito sa ating scoreline ngayon, 10-6. Hindi na nila pinatagal pa. I mean, pretty close but not too much. When dagdag na rin natin nga with the performance of course, given na si Heck, no, we have Ajax and as well as itong si Silent din, no, and even yung involvement ng Dre and the team doon sa ating mga nagiging interactions natin kontra dito sa Comeback Friends, to the point na kahit na andaing pasikot-sikot itong mapa ng Eagle Eye natin, laging merong nakareserba at laging merong nakasangguni na iba the moment that someone falls down, not to mention that they always have their aim down sights sa mga areas na hindi mo akalaig doon sila manggagaling. Even that batok moment, no, na nakita din natin kanina, which is just pretty crazy nandito for team acceptance.
You know what's crazy is here, yes, nabanggit ko na medyo na shot doon din sa Aldrin, and looking at the stat line right now, baka sabihin nyo, uy, parang mali naman yun kasi 13 and 12. But if you think about it, he's almost like good for 2, good for 1 lang in his like lifetime. So parang kailangan mo mahanap dito yung Aldrin na nangyari sa subbase na good for 3. Yung dominating power na yun, yun yung kailangan ngayon ng comeback. Yeah, it's pretty amazing na nagkanto pa rin nag-garner ng Comeback Friends. But for acceptance, man, partida, may technical issue pa dito si Dre sa headset niya. So he was playing at a disadvantage. But now with the MVP, Mochi, Ajax, man, wow! Siya talaga nag-step up.
Siya talaga, no, paniguradong may mapipitas at paniguradong mayroong matutulungan ng kasama dito, no. And earlier on, been able to see din naman ang kanyang performance dito, no, given that they already have that pre-existing chemistry alongside ng kanyang mga kasama dito beforehand. Given ito si Silent as well as si Heck, pero Ajax wala talagang kupas ng kanina mas dito sa mapa ng Eagle Eye. At agad na tayong sinagot dito, no, ng team acceptance na oo, may banat pa kami kontra CBF and the first map is just a fluke kasi dadayo tayo sa ating third mapa. I can't wait kung anong mapapakita natin sa mapa ng fourth, and what a way to start up our first day. Kaya naman maya comment down below, sino ba ang iyong sinusuportahan? Team Acceptance ba? Or itong si CBF? Malaman natin sino ang magwawagi maya-maya. And we're now back dito, no, sa ating laban of Team Acceptance versus Comeback Friends. Magkakaroon nga ba ng comeback itong si Comeback Friends, or will Team Acceptance for CBF to accept na talo sila dito sa serya natin ngayon? Malalaman natin yan dito sa mapa ng Port.
You know what, Port is a map where these two teams still prevail. No? I think it's the same sentiments, but I will always say this with no grain of salt, Mochi. Acceptance has Port in a stomper. Kaya yan ng Comeback Friends, pero heck, this is his hometown at least, aside from subbase. So kung isip mo Acceptance, now with emotions high, nakikita mo, galit na galit si Heck in the player cams. Sinisigawan niya mga players niya. He's shooting the bodies every time. Simula pa lang ng subbase dito, lahat ng Comeback Friends. Meanwhile, Comeback Friends, parang one-sided rivalry nangyari ngayon. Well, a heated debate. But for Comeback, they have to start very great dito sa PLSec. Garnering 5 rounds would be pretty good, but for Acceptance, they need to head on and start fighting agad para matigil dito yung momentum ng CBF.
Yeah, that's also very important, no? How you start everything may dictate how everything ends. Kaya naman, nilalapag na natin ito sa ating magkaters. Tapusin na natin to. Sneaky Frog and L, take it away.
First match pa lang natin, Sneaky Frog, at dadali na kagad tayo sa map number 3. This is Port and this is Acceptance versus CBF, taking it all the way, pare. Which, to be fair, no, is a guaranteed assumption, knowing that itong CBF, they like to take it overtime. Why not take it overtime in terms of the map, no? Except there's no golden round here, pare. We're going to be seeing the hometown of Heckman. It's going to be a possibility na makita natin. Maybe, maybe not. Pero I feel like if you are on the side of CBF here, if you are rooting for Tets, you better pray na he has some cost na medyo stable, not really end all be all, dahil kapag ginawa mo yun dito sa port, your round can just be gone in a matter of a few seconds, pare.
Yun nga, man. Napaka-practice rin ako ng AUM from time to time, purely because, Heck was using it dito sa ating group stage or Swiss stage rather, pare. And it's not too bad of a sniper, in all honesty. Basta machempo mo lang talaga when to crouch and, yun nga, the perfect time to crouch and then, shoot the shot, pare. Kasi you really have to be hard-scoped half the time using yung sniper na yan, pare. And I feel like Heck, he's probably mastered it, pare, with all throughout these years. He's got 15 years or 15 years tuloy, like 5+ years of experience pagdating dito sa ating AWM CFS. So I think yun nga, walang problema sa kanya ang AWM CF balance. Pero of course, we are gonna enter itong game natin, and we are gonna hear a bit of
no,
para sa mga players.
Nagback.
There are kids watching.
Andyan lang ah.
Andyan lang daw.
Zia.
Heck, have you heard of the DKS?
Nasi ilaw. Ay, bako.
That would be a
Set A.
Okay, so this is a fight. Okay.
Yun lang. Yaba already eating the dirt sa start ng round. Pero sinasabi ko to, El, no? Kukuha sila ng CA. And then they will go from there. Pero Aiden gustong sumala dito kay Heck na nasa top A ngayon. EBRs will be very effective. Pero nandito naman si HM para tumungan ng kanyang kakampi. Heck still holding down this A side and he doesn't care kung makakailang flash or makakailang nades kaya dito sa top A as long as he's breathing. Pero Tetsu nakita na si Ajax 4 versus 4. Operable na tong round na to, pare.
Operable, but look at the map control that CBF has, no? It's like they have to start from minute 20 seconds ulit, no? So, at least they can take back CA again to testing Tetsu. Pero parang ang ending lang nito, si Woozy makakuha ng patay dito kay Ting. A bit of an overpeak, I would assume, pero he was just testing his limit. And now we end up sa Store B. Let's see how they try to hold this one down if ever magpabinga to. No? Silence on the board.
Pero parang hesitant pa yata itong CBF na natin. Pero I feel like that is where the hesitation is gonna stop. Silent will be getting Tetsu. Nagkahiwalay na kayo mga players natin dito. Heck with a free peek with the TRG. Woo's getting absolutely sprayed down dito sa House B. Quick scope on Silent though. Teka lang. And that is where it ends, pare. Wala nang teka-teka lang para dito kay Dre. He's got the shot. He's got the angle. Acceptance with the first year round.
And you remember the thing I said about acceptance when kapag for V5 or man disadvantage sila, they start to stop taking and start playing. You can say that dito sa court. Especially when Ajax gets the kill, aided with the trade though. 4v4 ang usapan si Ken. They're trying to get CA once again, CBF.
Aiden also tagged up by the nade here. Pero kung ma-confirm niya pare na walang tao dito sa CA, that's it. Very big information na pwede makuha to ng CBF and also a chance to possibly have a spot na pag-ipeke dito yung A-side, pare. Pero Tetsu! Random shot through the mid doors at nakuha pa si Ajax na gusto lang mag-cross papuntang B-sign, pare.
That's awkward.
Yeesh.
Pero once more dito for acceptance. At 3v4 is on the board. Oh, wait. My guy almost lost his life there. Pero okay lang, no? He's still breathing. Pwede pa nila paraanan to. Pero ito na yung CA push na inaantay mo. See, no metal guy for acceptance though to stop this one. So, Heck, the barrel.
Missed? Yun lang. Heck, down to low HP. Easy clear na yan with an EBR, pare. Wallbang na yan. Galing kay Tetsu na kanina pa ditong pumapatay para sa CBF. And that is his third so far dito sa ating round. But can he get the fourth? Tetsu playing it excellently. Tamang flash play. Silent. Di pa namatay. Always works. Pero yun, Tetsu, sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands kung ikaw yung kapitan ng team mo, pare, and Tetsu doing exactly that.
Fun fact, all three maps natin, Sneaky, we have seen a team get the first point and the other team get the reply. No clear 2-0s into the round starts, no? It's that close talaga, no? Very contested, pero still, with the way that things are working right now, no, I feel like CBF only gets the kills when it comes down to the timing of the rotations na ginagawa dito ng Acceptance, as you can see with our replay dito ngayon, no? Timing din dun sa smoke, no, na naka-tempo ng spam. Pero si Tetsu, no, siguro, even with the timings and everything, he can close it out once you give him a proper situation that he can work himself around with. Pero not everything is given dito. You have to take, no? Take what's not given. Especially this mid-area, pare. CBF testing the waters here. Very funny that it's actually close to the port, pero CA, may tao na kantay, si Yaba nandun, pero I think there's Z angle. Kailangan dito, A-split na nga. Ang dami nila dito sa Ares!
Whoa, Tetsu! Masyado kayatang nag-forward dito pare, pero si Aiden nakita na Sting. Reaction from the side of Acceptance. So good so far. Silent Andre getting to Silent. Getting another one, and Ajax with an absolute clear dito sa ating top A. Bit of an oopsie galing dito sa side ng CBF. No? I feel like they're too exposed. Tapos wala pang masyado nangyayari sa long A.
I would have preferred the CA split na lang, no? Instead of going sa A side na. Alam natin to rin. Ang classic sneaky. Just go to Storby and get one, then regroup towards mid.
Hindi binaril pabalik tong actually itong si Silent na nasa house B kanina pare. And immediate recognition, there is no way na alam niya agad na may tao dito sa house B unless he's playing purely on timings.
What if he spams with the EBR dun sa randomly? Yo, it's the opposite guy.
As the guy who always plays here, pare, you don't want to spam it pag nandiyan sila sa house B kasi may tatlong babalik na EBR sa iyo. Pero, Silent doing exactly that. Aldrin will be getting drained. Ako po nagkagulo namin! Yaba! Finally getting si Ajax. It's hectic on the mid side.
Oh!
Pero nandito pa sa B side nitong si Silent, almost getting another player. Pero si Aldrin ang makukuha niya. Pero tignan mo naman, wala nang tao sa A side. And it's an instant move galing sa CBF. Ninyaba tamang yuko. Tamang harap na ba? Gonna check. Of course.
It's just 1 HP anyway. Yeah, it's not B. And I feel like this is one of the defaults or like the sets na
Aiden.
coming from CBF, it's a bit more uncommon and mas complex, and it worked out, no? May ganito pa naman pala yung CBF, no? Why not bring this out kagad, no? So as much as Silent will try to clutch it out, Aiden will still get that kill and equalize dito. CBF and Acceptance, 2 for 2. And I want to see more of those kinds of plays dito from CBF, no? Nag-ingay sa store B, bumalik ng mid, yun pala mag-entrance lang sila dito sa may A, naglalakad, nagtatapok. I feel like this is another store B hit. Of course, they have the EBRs na. They're gonna go for it. Aldrin entering dito sa may 2F ng house B. They might just leave him alone. And they're just gonna bounce with the C4 still sa BLRS, man. They're gonna do the same exact thing, I think. It's the points.
Gahanap sila ng reaction galing sa mga A players natin, Kasi, you do all this noise on LB, obviously one of them is gonna react eventually, no? Pero,
not gonna happen.
I don't like this from Ajax, man. Alam ko kanina pa siya dito sa mid nagsaspam, pero I feel like the illusion of information nakakatulong sa kanya dito sa may spawn side natin. Pero Tetsu through the small hole dito sa may Z side. Bawas na kasya dito as well as itong si Aiden na TS2O. Not liking the start of the round at sila pa kayo nabawasan dito despite all the map control na meron sila. B-site na lang ba? Pakanilang pakay pero hindi ito yung endgame din. Tignan mo kung saan sila gumagalaw.
Exactly. Ajax, kahit nasabihan natin siya, he's still stalwart dito sa hold sa may mid, no? So, okay lang daw para dito sa Acceptance yung points nila, pero okay ba sa CBF yung ginagawa nila dito? They're gonna bounce out of B totally. Might go for the A split na katulad ng kanina, pero 3 members dito sa BLBR, pare. Going to CA, another CA split incoming, pero still, Ajax a problem. As well as 3 dito sa CA.
Oh, and he was just sitting there the entire time. Trey spamming the corner, fully expecting na meron pa paparating dito, pare. Pero si Yaba, nakita na kasi Ajax. But I feel like the chances of winning this round kung kayo yung CBF ay napakababa na unless one good shot can happen, kagaya ng ganyan, galing kay Tetsu. Pero si Trey, umangat na nga at si Ting mapupunta ng court and will be crossing up itong si Tetsu, pare. 3-2 para sa acceptance and ayun nga men, they kinda got stuck in their own sauce itong CBF pare.
Parang ang ganda ng stop ball na ginawa dito ng acceptance. So, kada galaw dito ng CBF. Op! 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 Diyan ka lang. Ganun yung ginawa niya pero wala na pipigil sa LA!
And it seems like LA is not gonna stop anytime soon pare. 4 players down para sa CBF. Off of the backs of 2 riflers at si Ting just so happens to throw an HE and lands on the Z player. Grabe naman yun. The A players relentless in this one. Straight up long peak galing dito kay Dre and galing dito kay Ting.
And they're going
And
straight back
acceptance,
at
they're
it.
stretching their legs pare.
Another LA, maybe? That last one could have ended with a Kobe, but that is a shot from downtown. Who's getting it dito, umaasip na si Ek, no? So this is the confidence na makita natin sa acceptance. But then again, -1. Let's see na kung hahawak pa rin dito ng CA. Dito si Dre.
Z-Take to.
Pero tama pa, Z nga sila. So tama yung convergence ng acceptance. Who's
Okay, bit of a repeat mistake galing dito kay Silent. Ajax will be going down. Pero si Ting at si Dre makakasagot ng dalawa dito pare. 3 versus 2 situation. Ting in the HP side. Spraying a bit too early. Shooting a bit too early maybe. Pero nakuha na dito si Aldrin. And it will be Woos getting that one in return. Dre in a 1 versus 2. Low dito si Woos. Pero si Aiden napakaganda ng kanyang angulo dito sa heavy. On the curve side. Spots him within the shadow of the smoke. And another round para sa CBF. The fact that they're keeping it this close in sa first half is a dangerous precedent para dito sa AT.
Yeah, I mean, sige, bigay natin sa CBF dito na yes, they're keeping it close, but then again, that was an acceptance heat check. No? You don't see Heck peeking like that usually dito sa store B natin. No? So I feel like that heat check failed, and now look at where they're positioned. Right back at it para in the standard default that they have. But with Dre not going up dito sa ating series, nag-aabang ng biyaya ng bababang player ng CBF, pero look at this, they're really just moving the bear in the mid, but that's not Virtus Propare, that's Ajax. Right on top, getting the better of the spams, pero siya din medyo pulado na. Combined, no? He got Tetsu and Aiden, but he gives his life for it. They have mid, this can just end in a split.
And yeah, no, it's been Ajax kind of swinging left and right dito sa A at B side natin pare. And Tetsu has been very good on the punishes so far. Nakita dito ni Ting. Si Tetsu, Ting is at fault. Napatingin sa likod. He's lost dito sa B side. Aiden, nakarating na nga via that ninja position. Nakita yung ulo ni Heck habang tumatalon. And that will be the spray down Gray. It's been a great game for you individually, pare, but asking a 1v5 with every single member ng CBF recognizing na wala nang paparating ng curve. I think it's not possible, pare. I think you just stay in base and use the rest of the timer dito to talk to your teammates kasi CBF, you can't stop that.
You can't stop that, but you can be aware about how it's gonna happen. No? I feel like the word here for this round's acceptance, carelessness, man. Ajax, you should not be swinging right around that middle area, pare. I know you're trying to get the spams, but come on, man. You know that there's more members there. Alam mo naman yung default nyo. And I feel like that mistake snowball dito, I think, kung nagkawatak-watak yung round, ay tuloy tumabla dito, CBF. I feel like this last round, up for grabs or anyone, and I feel like I need to see Heck, no? The impact has been there the first 2 maps. Where is he on this third one? On the map that he calls home, or at least we know that he calls home. And he's gonna call the 1-1-3. Never mind. Let's pull back the guys. Make this a faux 1-3-1 sneaky. But look at CBF.
I feel like we've barely seen any long takes sa CBF, pare. So, parang actively ayaw talaga nila i-challenge itong si Heck. Ayaw nilang ipa-activate, kumbaga, ang sniper dito ng acceptance, pare. They are gonna go through that mid position or CA and or itong HP natin, but never on that long side. Never without any allies dito sa may CA side natin. Pero this is probably the most passive defense that acceptance has had dito sa mapa ng port. And cheeky timing na nakuha ni Tetsu kanina, pare, na aning na dito yung acceptance. They cannot trust kung sino man magbabantay ng curve and or yung spawn.
Yung 4-1-3-1 nila bumalik din sa 2-1 to no? And this is susceptible again to that split na ginagawa dito. CBF, pwede nga sila duman dito sa curve, no? If ever they wish. It's gonna go straight kay Silent. Kills 1, where's the rest?
Young Yaba will be getting Silent in return, pare. 4 versus 4 situation. Pero, are they gonna go back into it? Why not? I mean, CBF has a bit of a shot dito sa B-side natin, pero Heck is a bit distracted as well. Di na siya nakatingin sa HB. Aldrin will be probably spotting him dito sa hagdan. So, will this change the call para sa CBF na bumalik dito ng A-side? Or, it's still the patience play. Tetsu probably micromanaging all 4 members dito. Seeing what moves they can present, what info they can get with the swings that they are going to have. Aiden, nakita na si Trey. Ting nag-aantay dito sa loob ng site. Aldrin spots him! Heck, Ajax though getting to all 3 members on the side of CBF. Aldrin, Aiden, and Yaba already out. Si Woos na lang natitira ulit. Pero Ajax, mapapacheck na ba ng mid? Woos, di ka na makakaabot yan ng A-site para CBF with a great attempt. Pero, itong acceptance now, none the wiser, or actually a bit wiser to their tricks dito sa mapa natin, pare.
I feel like if I pull a heat map dito, no, Sneaky, that map is gonna be bright red dito sa Z, bright red sa Store B, bright red dyan sa mid. That's where CBF really try to play, and same thing, they're gonna get Aiden out of position, gets 2!
Oh my goodness, Aiden. Early mid control para sa kanya, pare, and Aldrin as well covering him. Galing sa BR, and that's a freebie by Woos. Heck, that's a 25-second.
It's getting to the point, man. Nagiging na naman tayo. It's getting disruptive because of how quick the CBF team can make the plays, and he's gonna do it. He's gonna let it ride. But nah, cancel that. But we're going to be passive this time around. Acceptance, no? Sila naman magtatanim dito sa mid. ZA control possible on the mark. But no, we're gonna put more chips in.
Ninja? No way, Aiden. You are madness if you try to go for this, pare. Yun lang, may katabi. Isa lang pwede mag-ninja dito, sabi ni Aiden. And that is me. Bridge players finally take him down. Silent getting him through the wall. But god damn, Aiden. You are doing some absolute trickery dito sa mapa natin, pare. The reverse ninja to get the CA player down. At least pa-confirm na walang paparating na CA at least. And it will be mostly mid from the side of AT.
Whoa.
But good shots galing kay Tetsu. Titira lang siya dun, men, sa big box on the right side of Min. Tapos luminya pa dun si Ajax. Oh, the timing. And the lock on the side ng CBF. And even then, Silent trying to slip on by the enemy line. Pero hindi siya makakalagpas, pare.
Can't go any further here. And now you're forced to play the 2v4. C4 ngayon, nandito sa may bridge side. Kokotek na lang ata dito. Pero, you have to ask for a blessing. Tetsu with the sniper now. Let's see it, buddy. Kung gagana nga. He's just trying to spot dito with the head glitch.
He spotted.
Alam niya nga nandito si Gray. Will get a kill. And the next one, Heck, should be spotted. Na dapat. But, oh no, Heck! 50 seconds remaining. The man can do no wrong.
Hard shot. I think he spotted
Where's the
si
rest,
Yaba
though?
yata. Pero there's si Heck taking out one shot, one opportunity back in that position. And he gets shot by 2 players. 6 and 5, CBF suddenly back in the lead dito sa mapa natin. And the first 2 rounds worth of disruption, pare, parang naaning na dito acceptance. You have to wait.
The thing that they wanted to do dito sa Eagle Eye natin, pare, now they have achieved important. It does not work once. Well, we try it on the next map, and so far it seems to be working wonders because we've overtaken the lead, and we have somehow made sure that Acceptance plays very differently. Look at them. They're playing like an impact team right now. Wait a minute. They're actually an impact team because this is how they play. Walang pumupush ng kahit anong side. Acceptance, man. I don't like this one bit, Sneaky. And I feel like they don't like it either. So they have to force some way, somehow, an opportunity dito sa ating mga areas, no? Store B, mid, LA, I don't care. Just do something proactive and do it with sense dahil I'm feeling 2 hands on their neck and they might just start choking the way that they got their GR side. Nawawala yung groove na nakuha nila. And I feel like CBF has done enough damage, no? They just let Acceptance rot away, no? They just let them go insane. But the 5-man push can bring them back to reality, pare, if this works.
Yun nga, pakiramdam ko talaga, that 5-core scoreline is now coming back to bite itong Acceptance, no? I feel like if you do not have a 7-2 or a 6-3, it's not really ideal para sa mapa ng port and the CBF, no? wasting no time knowing na napakalaki ng leeway nila men dito sa second half. They just sent it on the first few rounds. But Aldrin, let's see if you can hold on down. Itong B-site natin, HK 417 in hand, and Heck is looking for the opener. Pero hindi, siya yata magbubukas. Si Ting magbubukas dito sa site natin. Aldrin is absolutely blinded dito sa Godbox, pero kailangan niya umalis. Napakadaming ABR na nakahabol sa kanya dito, pero si Ting nakaabot na sa 2-box. Yaba from the backside. Silent with the spray down. Hayden blinded. Aldrin killing. Yaba.
Yo!
USP is good para dito sa HP, pero si Ting makakadalawa dito sa site. Nagkakagulo na dito ang CBF at 80. Yaba na lang natitira. What is going on? It's just everybody peeking at the same time, and that's Yaba. Blown up by Dre. 6 and 6, and hold on. Ayun nga, the downfall of 80 might be overstated dito pare. Nakabalik sila ng isa dito.
If I'm going insane, you're going insane with me, says 80 pare. I don't know what actually happened. May nagpa-flank, may namamatay sa site. The guy that was flanking got caught off guard but still gets the kill. Heck, almost missing Tetsu with the sniper again, and this time though, maybe playing like an impact team where you don't get any space actually works, no? Maybe the passiveness is where it's at, Sneaky. And next, showing us that patience comes with age, and patience is a virtue. Virtue held strong here. And now, what do you do with this 5v4?
Grabe, last push na yun, no? From that last round, it's kind of like Daniel Kwan, man. Everything all at once. Dito sa mapa natin. Jeez. And acceptance. So parang willing na silang makipagsuntukan na rin. And that's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. They're like, alright, pakiramdam namin, warm na kami. Yeah, it's gonna get chaotic in the B side, but yeah, let's throw hands. Ting especially, man, has been absolutely rabid dito sa BL side. Pero, Aldrin, cheeky with the sniper. Maybe a bit too aggressive, pero wala masyadong aggressive sa isang Aldrin pare, and he picks up the EBR. Meron siyang koleksyon ng mga baril dito sa B-site. Pumili ka na lang.
Pili ka na lang talaga, Sneaky, no? He can even double dip but chooses not to. Now, that's a man who hedges his bets talaga. But how does Acceptance hedge this one, no? He's just steady. Talagang, okay, we had enough shenanigans, so we're just gonna go.
EBR pa. Tingnan mo to.
Let's see it.
100%. First shot, EBR drop, pare.
Okay, I'm waiting for it. Boom goes the dynamite, maybe. When's the trigger here? Where's the util as well? Nasa util.
Where's the util? It's a bit raw, pare. Para sabi ni Gordon Ramsay ito, men. Magagalit ka talaga if you're a chef, but can they cook on the B-site? Nako po, niluto na dito si Aldrin. Ginisa na. Pero, Aiden can also be a chef himself. Could also be the head. Silent down. Papabalik sa dito temporarily for the reload. 3 versus 3 situation. Low na dito si Ting. Heck in a bad spot in the middle of nowhere. 1 HP on all the players, and now it's a 1 versus 1.
Window angle,
Heck,
window angle.
last one left alive. Aiden. Ba, nandito yung sniper, pero gusto niya munang i-defuse. Tamang take lang. Mapapapick si Heck. Hindi niya napansin sa bintana, and it will be Aiden securing the lead back para sa CBF. Makapagpigil hininga yung ganun na type ng play. And CBF is back in the lead, pare.
All thanks to Andy was a one-man show dun. Sa retake natin, everything was going chaotic, but he was just keeping his cool, man. Even na alam niya yung yung spam dito na pwedeng gawin ni Heck. Well, he had a TRG, he can't really do that. He had to go out there with a USB, no? So, ganda na ginagawa doon ni Aiden. And this 2-time though,
There
yan,
we go.
third time's the charm dito for CBF. But I feel like the slow cooker approach dito nila Heck, it's kind of ringing na dito sa ulo ng CBF players, no? It's kind of getting annoying. It's like that flying fly right in your face that you can't swat because you're doing something, pare. And once it gets annoying, you're just gonna go out and rage. Puputok din tong CBF. Yun yung binabahan ko dito ng acceptance. But the question is, Sneaky, no? Kailan sila puputok, no? And will they ever pop at all? Where's the Mentos to the cola?
Ooh, Yaba though. You know, I do know a guy that has been annoyed at the fly. His name is Saitama, pare. And if that kind of fly appears para dito sa ating acceptance or CBF, that will be oh so annoying kasi hindi nga yung mapapatay, pare. Pero Wooz, already out of the picture dito sa mapa natin. Pero Yaba still, ito yung pinaka-importante na spot na kailangan i-hold. Para dito sa 8. Yaba, bumalik ka dyan pare. Huwag kang bababa. Kasi may tatlong nasa likod mo men and you really do not want to have 3 HKs pointed at your dome. Pero si Tetsu naandito sa long A side natin. Top A will be secured pero makikita ba nila si Yaba na naandito sa CA? Silent peeking, Silent dying pero naandito na ang death trap ng CBF na nasa A side. Si Aiden lumabas ng bodega bigla. And it will be Yaba cleaning up on the backside as well. Heck, the only one left alive with a rifle this time. 35 seconds. Aiden mamamatay. C4 mawawala. Heck with the double but Tetsu with the secure. And that will be another one para sa CBF. 8 para sa kanila pare.
Munti ka na yun. I don't know what Ted's trying to cook. He was trying to cosplay as a sniper with an EBR on top of A. But hey, it worked, man. And you can't blame them. If it works, no? At least you get the 8th round here. 2 rounds away, and Yaba getting the better control dito. There goes the popcorn. And he just escapes Ajax. You're a lucky man.
Lucky man. Lucky boy. Ooh, but that man is lucky as well. Oh my goodness me. Who's getting the first frag pero Ajax getting in and Aldrin at the same time. Yaba nakita na nga si Silent. Yaba na paikot. Ajax na paratrat dito sa pader. Pero sabi ni Yaba, physical contact only when you are in my paint. Ting! Gusto niyang paligan na kanyang teammate dito pare. Pero namamatay na si Dre. Yaba's finally down. But where is the players of acceptance? 4 on the floor. And it's only Ting.
You can't draw contact anymore when you're alone, pare. Only ethical hoops sa CBF. No more passive play, no more baiting the contact, no more trying to bait the swings. But Uzno gets an end one. And this is possible para kay Ting. And he's gonna play this smart, sneaky. Ever heard of the saying when the thing goes boom? I don't know what goes next, but maybe you do because they're gonna meet right about never. What? Oh!
Oh my goodness, it's a spray down. It's a spray battle between Ting and Tetsu. Nako po, EBRs firing on all cylinders, pero si Tetsu hindi ito maasang ka sa kanya pare. Ting with the right spray rising up into his head. 7 to 8, what a save galing sa kanya pare. Oh my god.
I know what comes next when the thing goes more, he goes tra like that EBR spray. Ajax goes tra on that mid and gets Aiden. 5v4 for acceptance. And they're baiting the contact once again. This is non-ethical hoops. Bring back contact, pare.
There's
They're
no
just
more
foul
contact,
baiting.
man. It's only smokes in the paint. It hurts to see. Kung kaya yung CBF dito, Aiden obviously who's mid control has been one of the main reasons why kung bakit nahihirapan tong acceptance na kumuha ng map control. Pero yun nga, maybe it's now time for CBF to be a bit passive. Actually, papabayaan lang nila tong A site in the hands of Wooz. I like the gamble.
Medyo alanganin. Ang lalim na hold niya eh. Or rather, ang shallow ng hold niya eh, no? He's not holding A completely. He's just there for the quick rotate. Pero, yeah, Wooz is the key dito kapag gumalaw na ang acceptance. You know what would pop here? A shotgun. But none of that can be found. But wait, someone's gonna get popped. Wooz!
Yun lang. Who's gonna get popped on the curve side? Aldrin spray down. Not gonna be enough up against itong kay Trey. Pero Stetsu, unknown entity on the side. C4 drop, double kill para sa Kapitan. 1 versus 2. Yaba spotted on spawn and he gets absolutely mauled dito sa EBR ni Ajax. Kumapit lahat ng bala. Yaba, options are the sniper only. Pero tignan mo yung posisyon ni Hekati Ajax. Ajax will be looking at the sky, making sure na wala makakita sa kanya. Pero kailangan na maging careful, pare, ha? Ajax doesn't have, or Yaba doesn't have any reason to push right now, pare. Dami pa oras.
But this is the reswing. Oh, wait!
Oh, not the reswing of Doom! Buti na lang, pare.
Munti ka na.
Kala ko mag-flick-pick lang pakanan tong si Yaba eh.
I swear to God. Like, pagkapatay niya, yo! He looked quickly at the monitor. The last guy. Pwede lang doon sa Ajax. 8 on 8. What happened to the game, I love? We need some shotguns up in here. We need some shotguns up in Storby, man.
Pick your flavor, man. FNTPS, Pepper. also go the polar method, no? The Chris Vector, man. It's not too bad of a gun dito sa specifically sa LP lang.
I mean, pwede nyo diretso yun hanggang ano eh. Hanggang house B, hanggang
Curve.
site B.
Bumps him.
You can just go
That's my
straight at
ally
it.
right there.
That's how you create the tempo, no? That's how you create the vision dito sa ating
Space
game.
creation, kumbaga. Pare.
Exactly. 8 on 8. No dances to be had here, but the only dance we are seeing is the default dance, no? No one's swinging dito sa baba ng mid ng GR, no? Which is kind of good for CBF because they know that if acceptance, especially Ajax, no, can be punished from that, they can be as well, no? It's two sides of the same coin dito. So, I like that they're keeping it steady. The fast rotate is a bit leaning towards dito sa B. Pero still, no, if ever naman na mag-AA to, they know they can just contest from the bridge side sa may bodega as well. So, all good in the hood dito para sa CBF, but acceptance, hedging their bets dito sa ating House B. Proper smoke timing. I like this one from CBF, but AT, they have to go all in na dito. So that smoke converts this one into a split sneaky. And they have to be careful about it kasi 4 nakatoka sa kanila.
Yep. Ito na yung version ng CPF talaga eh. Pagdating sa mga late rounds, biglaan na lang sila mawawala sa mapa natin, Noel. And all of a sudden, acceptance is now operating without a single piece of information dito sa mapa natin. Good nade galing kay Yaba.
That's
If
one.
it did go through dito sa door, pare, that would have done massive damage dito kay Ting. Pero, 24 seconds, not much time to execute in all honesty. Pero, ayun na nga, Aiden will be getting taken down. Good ninja galing dito kay Ajax. Pero Aldrin nasa Jenny, hindi napansin dito sa platform. Yaba getting Ajax and that stops the entire offense ng acceptance. Pero si uy, para si Dre, gusto pang sumana dito sa B-site. Half on HP, but with an EBR in a box, pare, do the math. Para sa CBF, it's the 9th para sa kanila.
Mahirap magkasala dun si Aiden, man. Kailangan niya ng TV siya ako pa.
Don't to be CBF, please. Please, bro.
What if I told you? What if I told you he's gonna do the LA push? And they're done. They gone and done it. Train.
Oh my god. Dre, down? Okay, not too bad so far, no? I might have overestimated their downfall, pero si Yaba naman na mahuhulog this time. 2 players on the bridge side, pero distracted dito yung acceptance. Aldrin will be getting silent, pero gusto pang isala si Ting. That kid has an EBR, pare. You are not gonna get that second kill anytime soon. Pero Aiden, masyado kang maulit. Sabi dito ni Ting, pero si Wooz, C4 dropped on the mid side actually. Pwedeng umikot dito si Wooz, so he can go all the way into the bridge of the enemy, pare. Pero, ano kaya ang kanyang desisyon? B-side not gonna be here. A-side na lang. Maybe cheeky angle galing dito sa bridge. Pero nag-exit siya, pare. Oh no, unless he gets Ting on the top side. Ayun na nga. Heck peeking. Heck missing actually. I heard the shot ring. Wooz, if you can hit Ting dito sa top A, this could make all the difference. Pero pinik na lang dito ni Heck and CBF, of course, as is tradition in their game 3s. Overtime na naman tayo dito pa.
We are served up with a hot piping overtime again. What a game that we had, no? It's cinema all throughout. We've seen a plethora siguro masasabi natin ng executes, ng defaults, but none did it better than the foul baiting dito na acceptance. I feel like kaya lang nagka-resurgence dito yung CBF is because acceptance, they tried differentiating the flavor, no? And I think it's also a part dito dahil CBF, they learned their lesson. Okay, they're just waiting dito sa labas ng store B. They're just waiting sa PLPR, no? They're just waiting sa may pintuan ng A. You know what? Let's not push. Let's just wait for them. Paglaro tayo ng pang fast rotate, let them come to our sites and then we'll just deal with them, and deal with them we did. Pero that last round, when they did not need to bait a foul, man, they fouled out. And that's how they went into overtime. Classic cinema from CBF, and I can't blame them. That's in the genes. That's in the
Ayun nga,
trademark.
man, like, bro, if you are Tetsu right now, everybody knows na yun yung mangyayari sa last round. I know, L knows, yun nga, Salvatore knows, even though he's swimming, somewhere else right now, pare. And, ayun nga, everybody knows that the end game stat ng CBF or at least any Tetsu team is to go for long A dito sa port. So they kind of saw it coming from a mile away and you can kind of see it dito sa side ng acceptance na naka-2-stack na sila agad dito sa bridge at may tao na agad dito sa SD, no? So they were fully expecting that CBF would be a bit desperate para tapusin yung game na to and they guessed right. So acceptance will try to see if they can do this dito sa ating second half and I fully believe that they can, no? Honestly, kung makuha nga lang nila yung kanilang slow play na gusto nga nila dito, they get the mid control and get as much players in position as they can, no? Malay mo, they can possibly pull off a B split na tatlong lalabas dito sa curve and dalawa lalabas dito sa house B. We need to see more complicated stuff galing dito sa acceptance kasi if we kind of keep it too simple, nababasa yan ng madalian dito ng CBF and especially with the experience na meron dito yung mga CBF players natin, they can kind of tell what execute it is by just the first flash. So we need to mix it up a bit dito sa side ng acceptance and once they do, honestly, baka cook na nga dito yung CBF but I want to see yung mga fully fledged executes na sila this time kasi CBF sila naman yung nagpapasip ngayon eh.
Exactly. Nakita naman natin yung bright sides of the defaults and the exits dito ng CBF at AD. That one parkour na ginawa dito na acceptance para makuha yung curve kill. And that one fake play papuntang B, pabalik ng A na ginawa naman ng CBF nung PL sila. I want to see that variety because you are CBF dito sa defense. You are stacking sa may curve, you are stacking sa may RS nyo. A parkour play from acceptance would break it all, no? And then may lalabas bigla dun sa may hagdan ng may curve, everyone's dead. Sa may ramp ng curve, everyone's dead, right? If you are CBS naman on your entry, right? A pick like is good. And also now you need to manipulate the rotations dito sneaky ng acceptance. Make sure that Hex chess pieces are being moved dito by Tetsu. It's an illegal move, yes, but do it anyway.
Yep. I'm surprised the Heck would even peak that position, no? Dito sa LB pare, considering napakanipis ng angle na yun. Granted, lugi yung player usually dito sa LB side natin, pero nakaabang na si Wuz eh. So, all he has to do is react. Pero Ajax, speaking of reaction pare, this guy is just as capable of sniping. Flashes on the bottom side of A, pero grabe naman, bulag na bulag lang siya dito sa top A. Aiden finally getting silent, pero si Ajax still steadfast on the top A side. Di pa mga makakaakyat. Itong CPF nagkaharangan pa nga dito sa may hagdan. And Yaba, Wuz finally getting to Wuz. Insurance policy thing. Mas maganda ang kanyang baril sa ganitong sitwasyon, pare. USP, one tap would be enough to get it. Wuz, the insurance policy claim para dito sa But man,
sayang.
Too close of a round, pare.
Yung ginawa ni Ajax, yung round winner, and he was at peak from A to Z, he got the kills, pero the ending lang, no? Napilita kasi siyang gumalaw, kaya napita siya, pero eto tayo sa LA push.
Anticipated though. Teka lang. Heck spotted. Rating down as well dito sa long and a good angle. Being taken dito ni Tetsu. That is the angle na mahirap talaga i-pick a loob. Especially kung papunta ka dito sa tower. Ajax on the exit side. Spotted by Tetsu and he's just pressing W at this point, pare. That's another point para sa CPF. 11-9.
And if they get the last one, no? Hindi na tayo golden round. They're not gonna bring the overtime of overtimes, pare. That's something different at least dito, no? Well, it's still overtime and Aldrin will make it the 12 is possible, but there comes Heck.
Panicking in the B side, pero si Heck in the panic. He will still be able to get 3! Yaba, finally a trade dito sa sniper ng acceptance and ito na ba ang kanilang bawi dito. Yaba. On the backside, Wuz, USP. Onting sala lang ng damage dito kay Ting. Pero low na yung dalawang players natin. Lots of things to consider. Pero Yaba probably dead.
Bang!
Yup, that's an HE right next to you, brother. Pero si Wuz, clutch attempt para sa kanya. Pero palaban dito, Wuz, sniper shot, not gonna hit. And it will be 11-10. Double digits on both sides. CBF with 1. Pero CBF naman ang mapupunta dito sa ating GR side, pare. Which is a worrying sign para sa acceptance. Granted na may multiple rounds na nakuha nga na dito sa BL. But, you know, you feel like you could have gotten more distance with this kind of half, pare. Especially to start things off sa port.
Exactly, no? I feel like the one trick dito na ginagawa ng acceptance is already read, no? The play is already read dito by CPF. No, we're not gonna push you. No, we're not gonna do that triple LA swing again. Hindi na kami mag-challenge dito sa Store B. Hahayaan namin kayong mag-ubos ng oras dahil kayo din naman yung matatalo sa ginagawa nyo at the end, no? You're just putting even more pressure on yourselves by not doing anything at all And I feel like if Acceptance wants to try that passive playstyle, that passive default sneaky, they can only do it once. No, maybe save it for when you use or when you get this first round, when you get the tie game for 11 and 11. Pero then again, no, to get the 11, you need to think of a strat. And what strat do we need to see? Something complex. Maybe that parkour play dito sa mid to get that curve player off guard, no? Something like that is possible. Or maybe faken nyo yung CA siya yung LA push and then suddenly pasukin nyo yung Z going to crib, no? An A split to a B split, possible, pero you don't really know what's gonna go on dito sa isipan ni Heck, no? And looking at his camera, it's like he's deep in thought with 2 headsets on, pare. 2 gamer right there.
That's what they call the 7.1 channel surround sound, pare. Hanggang leeg. Pero yun nga, seems like lots of conversations being had in between the mga captains natin. I did notice no, na Tetsu yapping a lot, pare. So he's probably either is creating the most complicated strat na possibly na makikita natin so far dito sa ating series, or it is dog simple, no, pare. That is the duality of this man on the other side. Pero para kay Heck, onting operation lang talaga on the timer, no? Parang, yun nga, CBF is willing to go for those early picks, go for those 5 versus 4s, pero willing ba yung acceptance sa mag-antay dito, para similar sa ginagawa ni Yetcha, men. Yetcha and the boys, when they were playing itong port natin, they were just waiting until a certain point and timer dito sa mapa, and then parang pakiramdam na lang nila na okay, nakaset na yung defense dito ng CPF or nakaset na yung defense ng kanilang kalaban, dun na sila a-action, pare. So, acceptance, granted, it has been few and far in between yung mga ganun na type ng runs nila, pare. I feel like yung key sa kanilang pagkapanalo dito, eh.
Yeah. Napaka, ano lang, no? Napaka delikado lang, like, we're gonna go back to that coin flip again, no? That's always the analogy we're gonna come back to, because, sure, gumagana, sure, hindi, no? But then again, it's those single-digit percentages that can win you the round is what matters the most, Nikki. Like, how many times have we had a round na nakabase sa timing? How many times na nakakita tayo ng round na they just got lucky to the spam sa smoke, no? Or maybe hindi lang aware na nakakalurk na dito si ganyan, no? We can go back to sub-base, we can go back to Eagle Eye, na ang daming instances na gano'n yung nangyayari, pero we need a definite scenario of a win dito for acceptance. When CBF siguro masabi mo they can pull it out of their individuality, out of their mechanical play, na you're going to see Aiden is pushing dito sa mid natin, getting 1, getting 2, getting that parkour moves, getting a ninja kill dito sa player na tumatry pumunta ng CA. But can you say the same for acceptance? Makakita ka ba ng ganon from the likes of Silent, no? From Ajax? Not the passive holds, but the place na mag-a-aggressive ako. Kung mamatay ako, I will try to get 2. No? If I get 1, I will try to get 2. If I get 2, I will try to get out and then try to just make sure that they chase and work for that trade. I need to see those dito sa acceptance. Pero situation pa lang, no, sa overtime natin, CBF always take it, especially with the tempo that they've been providing.
Yun nga, seems like both teams taking their sweet time dito sa ating side wish, pare, pero you can't really blame them, no, in all honesty, kasi breakpoint na to ng mapa, men. This is their final shot or the possible final 3 or 4 rounds na ilalaro nila to get the win in this one. And feeling ko napakalaking dagdag sa confidence kung 1-0 ang start ng CPF, kasi yun nga, yung kanilang Swiss stage, pare, Stallions VP 0-2 agad. So it would be a nice change of scenery para nga dito sa CBF if they can finally close this one out. But it is not gonna be easy, pare. Once again, acceptance, nga, willing to play the slow game, willing to play the grindy kind of crossfire na nakikita natin galing sa mga ibang teams, especially when it comes to this PL side. And I feel like, there is a few top teams of influence na may kasalanan ito, and I kind of point the finger at BP, no, na, they cook it really slow dito sa mapa natin, and then they eventually take CA, and then doon na sila kuha ng map control possibly from every other side of the map. So,
Yeah.
teamwork, can it make the dream work para dito sa acceptance or CBF? Yun nga, death by 1,000 stings pa tayo dito, pare?
I don't know, man. Getting slow burn or getting stinked 1,000 times, what hurts more? No? The thing with the acceptance is, yeah, they're right to the virtuous pro method, ini-slow cook nila. But if you slow cook something, no, you're literally just waiting for it to get burned. No? When do you turn it up or turn it off? No? This go for it and say, okay, what we made is done na. I haven't seen that sa acceptance. Like, makuha siya sa pitas, not satisfied. Makuha siya dalawa, not yet. We have to wait for a timing. What's gonna be the move ngayon na kayo naman ang ating BL side? Seems like it's the same old. A 3-1-1. Heck, again, dito sa labasan ng Orbit, ng
Ulit si
Export.
Ajax.
Ajax. Ayan na naman tayo sa kulit. What
That's
he
an
gets, CA and A. Bang! For 3.
Makes him do a backflip on the bottom side of CA, pare. And oh my goodness me. I feel like that started off with a wallbang dito sa A side, no pare? At itong si Ajax messed up his ninja, unfortunately. At napahulog nga siya dito sa may mid side. And of course, Aiden, feel like he's a bit wiser, no? Pagdating sa mga mid-wall banks natin, parang immediately iniwan nila yung mid sa kamay dito ni Yaba. Interesting. So, pan-tester lang talaga dito si Aiden kung may tao sa mid or may lalaban sa mid o hindi.
Hindi na iniisip na magbabank ditong acceptance sa isang split execute. No? They're thinking that acceptance will hold them. They're gonna go for a 4-man rush sa isang main. No? So, with that sniper, dito sa A side +1 no and +2 naman dito sa ating anchor sa B side, you would assume na madali na lang trabaho towards CBF and that is what they're expecting. Heck, having some second opinions pero his team's already poised for the execute, pare. Thinking that they need to go for a split dahil basadong-basado to kapag nag-4-man push kayo sa house B. He has to think quick, no? He has to not be patient. He has to pull the trigger dito sa execute nila.
Aiden. All of this time, Factories on the Godlock side, but Aiden from the right side doing absolute damage with Yaba. Wala nang nakapasok sa bahay ng B-side ng CBF. And Yaba with the jumping USP, putting some sauce on it. 12-0 para dito sa CBF. And it's a dead round. Of course.
Number 3.
Of course it is, pare.
Number 3 dito pa. Okay, so if we want the longest series ever, Sneak, it has to be CBF versus Virtus Pro. Best of 5 playoffs. What are the maps that go overtime always?
Ano
New
ba?
Compound?
Black Widow,
Black Widow.
New Compound, ano ba? Eagle Eye has gotten
Eagle
some
Eye.
fair few
Okay, that's 3
overtimes,
already.
pare.
That's 3. Need 2 more.
Siguro Subbase.
Subbase
I've seen
Sport.
ito. And if it let's throw New Mexico in there, pare, kasi
New Mexico,
CPF will
5
probably
maps,
run out of maps at that point, pare. Ayun nga, napapaisip talaga ako if I'm on the team of acceptance, pare, at this very moment na ayun nga, it is now the version of CBF that they really do not get to interact with, no, dito sa mapa natin whatsoever, with the exception of that opening pick dito kay Aiden sa may mid-side, no? And I feel like the real objective talaga is or the real objective para kay Aiden dito sa bridge natin, to be specific, is to really just cause that temporary disruption. Kung sino man ang gustong pumasok ng CA or sino man kung gusto pumasok ng mid-side, he will be the guy to kind of bother him a bit, maybe even get the kill. Pero gusto ko yung insta rotation niya, no? Pabalik dito ng B-side, pinabayaan na nila agad yung mid in the hands of Yaba, and once again they're playing their advantages correctly dito, pare.
I feel like ang main purpose na talaga dito ni Aiden or ni Yaba sa mid is to disrupt that split potential na pwedeng gawin dito ng acceptance. And once they disrupt it, he's gonna leave it dito kay Yaba, no, fully, dahil alam niya na he's more important dito sa site, knowing na wala na siyang mababatong util, right? And if the members of acceptance, no, they push towards mid, what's he gonna do? Fight a flash, fight a smoke, no? Medyo mahirap yun mag-isa. So he'd rather bank his life dito, getting thrown util at, no, especially with helping utility from the site anchor, and fight to the death instead of just wasting it all na nakatoka siya nang wala siyang ginagawa dito, nakapirme lang siya sa mid. So acceptance, where's that second move I've been wanting? You tried it the old-fashioned patient way. Now let's try it a different route, pare. We can't just accept that things are in this quota, things are in this status. We have to differentiate. You have to improve. And this is a good start. Smoking mid, bait the presence. Nakita mo, gumagalaw si Yaba. He's trying to bait movements as well. Pero that flash is really walang magagawa doon sa flash na yun. It's not gonna affect the round. He still has his smoke, has the nade that can do damage dito sa acceptance. Nail in the coffin na to. Pahiga na acceptance at CBF. Kailangan yun lang isara at sarahan nyo na dito sa ating housey.
Hindi namin. Para kanino ba talaga ang banting at taul na to, pare? Dito sa ating harapan. 30 seconds para makapasok ang acceptance. Countbox, pinam na nga. Pero Yaba! Instantly, heads are falling on the B side and 3 players are down para sa acceptance. Trey, tatry mag-push ng mid pero wala na magagawa. Pero si Heck, kaya pa ba? Shot on Aldrin pero wallbang na lang dito sa HP. And it is CBF after a grueling series going the distance dito sa port. They finally get to finish it and they end up with a great start para sa kanilang group stage. They will be up 1-0.
Nothing from the dead here, Sneaky. You cannot rise up from that coffin once you're put in there. Bukas, higa, Sara, CBF with a 2-1 victory. Congratulations. It took you guys a while. But nonetheless, you get it, no, Sneaky. I feel like we have lots to talk about there, especially for CBF. Sure. Like, it took them 3 maps to understand that this is a team game at some point. That Swiss stage road was not enough, pare. It took them quite a while to understand, hey, maybe if we don't peak alone, we can win some rounds, pare. And that, I think, is what gave them the advantage. Acceptance, when it comes down to this analogy, when you try to corner an animal, it will try to use its best weapon when it is in the corner. Acceptance, they understood they were the animal in the corner dito, pare, at ginawa lang nila yung best weapon nila. The impact strat na mag-antay tayo na mag-push sa atin, it worked, but it did not work well enough. Hindi na sila na-convert, and it's their fault din na wala silang mid-round adaptation or secondary place na pwede nilang gawin out of the blue na lang do biglaan na idea para isara yung map na yun. And I think that's what gave the edge dito sa CBF, especially knowing that CBF, tenure-wise, no, collectively, mas marami silang experience dito sa squad na acceptance, even if this is the best acceptance squad yet, pero kulang pa rin talaga ang acceptance. The impact syndrome is still there, and they need the doctor to fix that.
Omsin, pare, yun nga, to the doctor, divine intervention na lang yung makakapigil dun sa sa house speed na nangyari nga natin dito kanina. Pero I would still love to give compliments as well, no, dito sa ating acceptance team. In all honesty, na according to our predictions, so we were kind of expecting more of a one-sided affair dito series natin, but it was really a dogfight in between every single one. So still, big shout out dito sa acceptance, especially kay Ting. And yun nga, I hope to see more galing sa kanya, pare, kasi acceptance, I feel like you probably have made me look in your direction, pare.
Exactly, I mean, we are looking at acceptance, just not at the right way, as well as they are looking at themselves. You want more, Sneaky? We got more, not CBF, but more matches. Pero bago yan, Mochi, Bipolar, buhay pa ba kayo? Kasi kami, buhay na buhay pa.
Ganap naman yung sa ganun niya. Pero ready at syempre buhay naman kami dito, no? And Sneaky Frog and my oh my. It all boiled down to still CBF actually winning this one, but hindi sila nakapanalo ng walang galos dito, Bipolar.
Yeah, I mean, overtime merchants, CBF, man. They're always gunning it for overtime. I mean, let's give it to them naman. Di naman finors na mag-overtime dito. Di naman nila sinadya na mamatay dito sa long A ng 3-man push signature move ni Tetsu, no? But, yes. I mean, all I can see for acceptance, I won't give them a rough time here, is that they are now looking like a contender sa Masters. Not fully there yet, pero almost there. Kailangan lang dito ng onting spice, Mochi, kasi GR side for acceptance, kahit sa anong mapa yan, kahit siguro outside of Eagle Eye, they're predictable. They're readable. Because you can see it here in Port, Mochi, na top A is not a priority para dito sa acceptance to put Heck there. He goes to House B and he goes there, fights that 8 out of 10 times every time. Dalawa lang ginagawa niya dyan. Titingin siya sa court or i-hold niya dun mismong pintuan palabas ng House B with the help of someone in Z. Nakita natin yun in round number 21, I believe, na parang, uy, may nang-push dito sa may Z, but with Heck not falling down, Nade will be there, Flash will be there, garnering 1 kill before they enter will give him a triple kill. At nangyari yun. And that's what happens kapag gumagana ang set plays ng acceptance. Pero, readable pa din. Kasi napapansin natin yung Mochi, it's the same set of things. But for CBF, it's almost the same thing. Ang pinagkaiba lang Mochi, they rarely go passive. So it's not that readable. Pero once they get exposed, ay nako, Mochi. Nakita mo naman yun. Aiden will always go big kapag passive sila. And what else can you say? Kahit mamatay din si Aiden, there's still fraggers on the other side. That's why we call them star-studded. But yeah, Port came into overtime. Great plays mula sa acceptance. Sa first and second half, talagang nag-angas lang dito yung CBF. Nag-adapt sila sa playstyle ng AD.
Yeah, and even just by looking then how they were able to show their patience then at certain occasions and knowing when is the time to strike. I feel like that is the very strength na nakita din natin dito from CBF for this particular map of Port. Pero I want to ask you a question. When did you find na wala to? Mukhang sa CBF na to mapupunta.
Overtime. Pagdating ng overtime mode. Pag-OT talaga.
Yes, and I guess, no, nice try here for Team Acceptance. Na talagang hindi biro yung mga pinakita nila dito, especially yung trio nila, no? Si Head Ajax and as well as Silent, talagang pinapakita nila that they definitely had yung angkin na historia kasama ang isa't isa, no? I feel like just needs a bit more time here for Dre and as well as their last person dito na si Ting, no? Kahit na sabihin ko yun na it is more time in terms of KD, in terms of stats. Talagang nagpe-perform nila. It's just that pagdating sa mid-round, pagdating sa reactivity and decision-making, doon talaga nagkakaroon ng problema. And not gonna lie, it's not that bad of a problem. It just that it needs a bit more polishing.
Of course, Mochi. And I would like to say, yes, the OG squad of acceptance, yung trio nila, gumagaling. Pero we have to give our credits to Dre as well. Man, you see the headshot. You see the headshots. You see the penetration na mula dito sa BL side nila para makapasok ng GR. Dre opens it up. That's why he has 20 kills. Pero, ang masabi lang natin dyan, wala sa edad ang Crossfire, guys.
Wala talaga.
Acceptance is the epitome of what can age do in a master setting. But for comeback friends, Mochi, hindi gumana dito si Adrian. Again, but Aiden, man, yung 60% pag hinati mo, may 30% ka pa rin lakas. Pero syempre, meron tayong kailangan pag-usapan. Sino nga ba yan? Ano nga ba yung si Tetsu?
Well, Tetsu, dude, parang isang beses lang nakikita natin siya way back sa former team niya dito, no? Actually showing up na meron din siyang say, no? Sa kanilang mga labanan dito. Pero talaga nalo ng pinag-igtingan given the arena na meron tayo with him right now, just showing that he also has the wits and as well as the prowess. 1.47 KD and syempre, no, ingin na rin yung support na bibigay niya sa kanyang mga team with our smokes per down, which is 35%. It's pretty standard, pretty high din, no? Given the role na meron dito kay Tetsu. So, congratulations with that 96.6 na rating natin dito.
Yeah, you know what, Mochi, ito nga, no, na nakausap nga natin kanina si Tetsu before we go into the stream, no, na parang, yes, after 13 and 12 sa sub-base, Eagle Eye with 610 and 13-10 dito sa Port, basically, ang plano dito ng ating players mula sa comeback friends, yes, they're fast-paced, yes, they're faithful, yes, they're aggressive, pero alam ni Tetsu, when there comes a time that they need to be slow-paced, handa yun, nasa pocketbook nila yun, Mochi, nasa playbook nila yun, and all ends up with pressure. And big ups to Tetsu, no, our MVP, na parang, yes, mid-rounding calls sa kanya manggagaling, ending calls sa kanya manggagaling, and it works out every time. Kasi overtime clutch, gumagana yung utak dito ng players mula din sa comeback friends, Mochi, and it's just pretty insane na kailangan pang umabot sa overtime, pero still, you know, baka gusto lang talaga nila maglaro ng maraming rounds.
Masagana yung brain sense ng mga IGLs natin, just to say the least, para dito sa parehong teams
They're
natin.
insane, Mochi.
Sadyang mas lumamang lang ng kaunti ito CBF. Pero let us see kung sino nga bang ating match MVP galing dito for comeback friends, no? Talagang pinatunayan nila. Ito, hindi na comeback to, tuloy-tuloy na to, no? Continuous performance from Aiden, definitely showing na simula qualis until now, dala-dala ni Init at yung gigil niya na makabalik at panalo dito para sa ating team of CBF. 1.19 KD and consistent across all maps kontra dito sa CFS. Well-deserved ni Aiden.
You know nga, no, again, this is what I said beforehand nung nakapag-MVP din dito si Aiden on the second map, I believe, na parang, uy, our first map natin, no, na parang you love to see it. Aiden is back, but he is back with a purpose na itutuloy niya ng itutuloy. Consistency is there. And as you can see, talagang frying dito si Aiden, man. From M14s to HKs, talagang tatama siya at tatama. And you rely on a player like Aiden. I feel like mawawalan dito lalo ng pressure si Tetsa na mag-IGL kasi alam niya, Aiden is on my team. I can mid-round calls. Pero if Aiden is still alive, I don't have to worry a lot more kasi tatama lahat ng shots sa Aiden.
There's lesser things to worry about now within the lobby, and I feel like just by viewing the highlights na meron tayo dito ngayon, that's already evident. And regardless of the map, regardless of kung siya lang ang mag-isa rin sa site, bound to perform pa rin talaga. The anchor is anchoring para dito kay Aiden, at dagdag na rin natin na kung siya ay mamamatay, hindi lang isa, minsan dumadalawa, tatlo pa ang kanya napipitas bago siya mawala. And I guess it's just time and right for us para makapakinggan din natin, no, ang ating mga pananaw and overall experience from our very own match MVP. Tawagin na natin ngayon si Aiden. Ayan. Grabe, Aiden. It's been a while. Welcome back.
Hello
At
po.
kumusta naman ang iyong experience kontra dito sa team acceptance, kasi biro mo, napaabot pa nila ng third map?
Okay lang naman po. Nagkagulo lang since wala din po ako nung sa last match sa SJJ.
You know what, Mochi? May dalawa akong tanong dito kay Aiden, no? Pero first and foremost, Aiden, congratulations, man. From qualifiers hanggang ngayon, consistency. Yan yung binibigay mo. Above 1.1 KD every time. But first question ko mula sa'yo, Aiden, for the whole team actually, no? Pero ikaw na lang magsasagot. Bakit nyo bilan yung Ankara? We believe here on the panel desk and as well as on the cashier desk na Ankara is one of the maps na kaya nyong ipanalo almost like 10-5, 10-6 yung scoreline. Bakit nyo firstly bilan nyo?
Wala po ako alam sa map dito eh. Nasa CR po ako nun eh.
Ayun! Dali. Okay. Okay. Next time na lang natin pag-usapan
Next
yung
time na lang
Aiden,
natin siguro tanongin yun, no? Thank you for your honesty, Aiden. We appreciate that a lot. Pero eto, Aiden, I feel like you can vouch with this one since ikaw yung nag-pop off dito, no? I feel like you have the very idea kung bakit naging ganito yung kinalabasan at pumabor kay CBF. Ano yung mga weaknesses na nakita nyo for team acceptance na tingin nyo pwede nyong i-exploit at yung rason ba't kayo nanalo?
Yung sinabayan po namin yung slow pace nila.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yung pagiging passive po.
That connects to my question, Aiden, no? Last question ko na to. Nakita naman natin overtime, last rounds dito sa second half and as well as sa overtime. Yun nga, just like what you've said, sinabay niyo yung slow pace dito ng acceptance. Pero what was going on through your mind? Ano yung thought process na kaya ba namin to? Alam namin mabilis maglaro ang Comeback Friends eh. Pero in a slow pace game style, kahit na B-side player ka, even though you die like 50% of the 50% most of the time na ikaw yung unang mamamatay. Ano yung thought process doon? Bakit bigla nga bang nag-slow pace dito ang Comeback Friends? Ano kailangan namin ng deeper thoughts doon mula sa?
Nung time po kasi na ina-agree po namin, ang dami pong timing na ano eh, like may nakakalusot po ganun. So, si Tetsu naman po nag-call nung slow pace, like passive na lang.
So gumagana din naman no.
Yeah. It worked very well, very well. Congratulations, Aiden. No, I feel like it's just
Thank you
right
po.
para ibigay sa'yo itong ating time and exposure para i-shoutout lahat ng gusto mong i-shoutout, pasalamatan lahat ng gusto mong pasalamatan. The floor is yours.
Thank you sa mga nanood. Sana nabigyan namin yung magandang laban. Tsaka sa
For sure.
GF ko na nanonood. Thank you sa support.
Dali, okay.
Cutie. Ayun. Maraming salamat, Aiden. Magpahinga kayo dyan, no? And I'm pretty sure na sobrang proud ni ate. Tama, ate Cubs, di ba? Ate Cubs sa'yo yan. So, congratulations. At maigi, good luck sa susunod na malaban.
Thank
Good luck
you po.
Aiden. Congrats, brother. Ang ano, Mochi, usog po muna si Aiden dun sa gilid. Pero, it's pretty crazy, no, na still, somehow, kahit nakilala natin ang Comeback Friends na face forward, kaya nilang gawin yon just from sheer, trust mula sa calls ni Tetsu.
Yes, and it is definitely obvious naman that the calls na meron dito kay Tetsu, no, as much as it is pretty simple, you know what if let's just match their pacing, it worked wonders to the point na kahit na umabot tayo ng OT, no, talagang it gave them a lot more avenue to think through kung ano nga ba yung mga steps na pinapartake dito ng kanilang katapat, and they've been able to shut them all down. At ayun na nga, natapos na serye para dito sa ating unang araw ng group stage. Ngayon naman tayo itutuloy para sa ating second match. It's gonna be matches and for VED later on. Abangan ninyo yan, hindi pa tapos ang laban. At for now, kami ay mamamahinga muna.